L-I-V-E, mother lovers. Welcome to all of you mother lovers out there, all you cheers and jets. You like the way I did that?
Very good.
Welcome back to another show. Something you might not never know nothing about with myself, your host, Mice Diggy, and it's a 420. So happy 420, mother lovers. You know what time it is, boy. I got my co-host Dan DNA. What's going on, bruv?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, this room's not smoky enough yet.
Not yet, innit?
We just
Don't
started.
worry, man. We're just getting started.
420's just started for us.
We're just getting started, man. It's 420, meaning April the 20th, where we celebrate the birthday of cannabis. Yo, it's Weedus's birthday today, man. You know what I mean? All praise is due. You can't do the sign. You got to do the sign of the leaf, like bam, bam, bam. You got to do the sign of the leaf, boy. It's Weedus's birthday. You know what I mean? Shout out to the crew locked in. We appreciate everyone coming through each and every time, and especially on this day. We had to make sure we did a special for you lot. You know what I mean? Usually we're on a Wednesday, but we came today on a Thursday. That's right, Thor's Day. We have the hammer of Thor striking on you, mother lovers. Lightning. You know what I mean? What else? Thor represents Jupiter.
Yeah.
So what's that? Jupiter. Pitta is the father. We give thanks to the father named Mary. Father can't be called Mary, innit? I guess that's the mother, Mary Joanna. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try and work this out. Look, we got to work this out. This is what we do right here. Something you might not never know nothing about. We try and bring you that. Tonight, we have two special guests. One of them, I believe we're waiting to find out if he's landed yet. He did warn me that he was going to be traveling on this day. But by the time we come on, he should have landed. So I'm just waiting to get a message back from him. You know what I mean? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's 420, man. These things, this is how things go down when people get blazed. Did anyone go down to Hyde Park? I'm wondering. And I'm hoping you lot, if you did, you got there early. Because, yeah, the weather just switched, boy. All of a sudden, you saw this grey blanket, this pavement-coloured blanket just coming through the clouds. It's like, yo. You know what I mean? There's people like, yo, bruv, I'm over here, sending me locations and all that, where they are in Hyde Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But once I saw the weather like that, I was like, yeah, you know, I ain't making that mistake, bruh. This is that time, by the way. This is another part of the year where people say, there's something going around. This is when people believe that there's something going around because everyone seems to be getting a little bit ill, a little bit sick. It's funny because we're seeing the similar weather where it gets hot and cold all of a sudden. 1 minute you're hot, next minute you're cold. This is when your body's reacting in some form of way. Like, yo, that cold was kind of hardcore, bruv. We might need to get rid of some of this, what is it you lot drink? Fanta, these these deep-fried Mars bars, battered Mars bars, battered ice. We might need to sort that out. And then that's when you start getting a bit gunky. You start, all this is cleaning you. It's ridding you of some of the BS that you might have had during that time. So you should aid it. Drink a lot of water. Do you know what I mean? Get some rest. Don't eat too much, especially any BS. Don't eat too much rubbish. But don't eat too much anyway. You know what I mean? And you'll sort yourself out. It's something we all go through, man. I was thinking about something the other day, D. I was like, right, you know, we forget that we all do a lot of things the same. And, you know, the idea of like, oh, you caught that thing from that guy over there is kind of like saying, bro, did you take it? You pooped. Did you just poop? Bro, you might have caught it from that guy there because he pooped as well. Do you know what I mean? But we just don't, we're not allowed to look. We've never been taught to look at it in that way. So it's proper like, ugh. But anyway, let me give a shout out to the Uncommon Senses. You know we love you, mother lovers, each and every week. Shout to your more, you know what I mean? First Lady, your more. a.k.a. Diva1. What's going on? Shout to Robbie Love. Salute. You lot cracking joke in there already. Big up to Liz Williams. Love, love, love. Shout out to the Tempest Elixir. What's going on, man? Right, let me get to some of these. So, Tempest has asked. What was that? I saw something about mice. Dan. People in the chat, how you all doing? On my way home with those Monsters cookies. Let's go to Monsters cookies, boy. Jeez. Do you know what? I had some edibles, yeah, but I didn't realize I finished most of them. I got some other ones, but I don't want to do them because I will mong out. Yeah, these Delta 8 gummies, man, they just have you like, they put it this way, if you want to get a good night's sleep, they're the ones.
Right.
Like guaranteed. I wouldn't, if I took them on the show, it would be a bit disrespectful, not only to the viewers, but to you, Dan, because I'll be here. I'll just be monged out. There'll be dribble, dribble down one cheek.
And we'd be on a different type of 420.
Yeah,
we'd be talking
yeah.
about a toll other 420.
Yeah.
Dan's 420.
Yeah.
Don't want to go there.
No, we don't want to go there, man. But yeah, it's hilarious, man. But let's find out what is the roll call today. Let's see how people are celebrating Weedus's birthday today. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to Packet Loss. Big up to IBMCs. Yep, here we go. You already know, bruv. You know what I mean? What's the roll call, mother lovers? Let's find out what the roll call is. I'll let you lot know. There's some wedding crashes going on here. What else we got? We got some purple sherbet. You know what I mean? We got some jealousy. What else? Oh, man. We got, yeah. There's some. All right. Chem 4 crossed with grapefruit. You know what I mean? That's just, I'll just sprinkle that on you lot just for now. Whilst I'll try and remember what else is there. We've got some gummies as well. Shout out to Farmer Flavors. He's got the baked buds. It's something you might not never know nothing about. And seriously, if you're doing any of these edibles, please have supervision with you. Someone else who's doing them as well. That way you can work out where you're at. You look at the other person like, right, if they seem like they're cool and they're holding it, your mind's gonna be like, yeah, I gotta hold this. But if they seem like they're wigging out, paranoia is gonna kick in. Your mind's gonna mess you up. You might end up just puking on yourself or something. I don't know. I'm praying that doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Lord, please do not let dying, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember. Like, I mean, luckily in our religion, when you don't remember things, you can get away with it. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, he's cool. What's my man's name again? Don't worry, bruv. Don't even worry about it. Yeah.
Just burn that bush. No, it's Moses.
Burn that. Yeah. No, there's burning bush in our Bible as well. Our Bible is made of hemp paper. I'll let you lot know. Do you know what I mean? There's a whole load of burning bush talking as well in it. You can guarantee that. Big up to Regantology, 420 blessings. Yes. The crew are coming in, man. Nice one, JM. What's going on? Yo. He says big up. Big up all the crew, them. Yep. We're coming in. It's 420. I just want to say happy birthday again to Weedus. You know what I mean? Shout out to Vinny B. I spoke to Vinny B earlier, man. You know, he's going through some stuff. He did a long-ass interview with someone, and then it turns out they can't handle what was being said. It's like, bruv, come on, man. Come on. Like, if you're real, you're real. We're definitely getting back. Hopefully, he can talk about it. But he's had he's had a good run of late as well, working with Bro Sanchez. And getting a few guests on there. So definitely go to that channel, to Bro Sanchez's channel, and check out the last few guests he's had on there. Vinny B's been working with him a bit. So, yeah, that's interesting. But, yeah, man, people should be allowed to talk the talk. This is what we say. It shouldn't be like, we're always made a bit too aware of making people feel paranoid or worried or whatever with certain conversations. But then, what are you gonna do? Is that person just gonna forever hide in the shadows, like, or just kind of, you know, like it's like they got what are they called, where the horses have got the blinds,
blinkers.
Blinkers, that's it, the blinkers. Is that it? You just keep the blinkers on all the way through your life, and you got pass them on to the kids. You make sure you wear these and don't. Come on, man. It's like, wake up, man. Don't be afraid. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid.
It's like the opposite of the they live glasses. It's like the like they sleep blinkers.
They die. Yeah, they live or they die, innit?
Yeah,
they die blinkers.
Yeah, we should sell them.
You should, innit?
Yeah, we should sell they live glasses.
I think the masks were more or less they live. they die blinkers, innit? The masks.
Yeah, that's the equivalent.
People wear masks. It was like that.
Yeah,
it's hard to look over, trying to see.
Yeah, and what about the whole sort of walking back the Quacks injury stuff that's happening recently, where suddenly every media outlet is suddenly like, yeah, you do know these things weren't that good for you, didn't you?
Yeah. See, and this is I noticed that it seemed that was what was happening, because they were already doing it with the things like the Ivermectin and the Hydra, you know, all of that stuff. It seemed like that was that whole, they were trying to make out like, look, this is really good for you, but no, nobody should know about it. And it actually isn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a synthetic thing. And then you're like, wow, what are they doing now then? And then you can see it was like, so then the people that had gone to take that are now feeling paranoid because they're hearing, oh, it's for worming horses, or, you know, all this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, this is going to happen for the Quacks lot. Like,
yeah.
It's already been coming out anyway for us. Like, you're hearing this, that, and the third about all these stupid things about little, what were they calling them? Little alien globlets or whatever in there, and all that BS. Like, I don't believe none of it either, but it was obvious that now they're targeting the people that have gone and got it. And so, you know, I'm sure like all the listeners know already, like now people don't even want to talk about it. It's got to that point where they don't even want to talk. They're like, yeah, I can't talk about it. I'm not, you know, because, and I don't blame them, because you were already paranoid enough to go and get it, but now you're paranoid that you got it. You know what I mean? So how are we helping you by going, you know? Like, I'd love to chat to people and just talk to them about how they can detox from it. Like, a lot of people don't know that you can reverse. There's so many things. You can reverse Alzheimer's. You can reverse, you know, so many different things that are to do with neurological toxicity. And the way to do it is just like through your diet and through different exercises regarding like steaming and, you know, hot baths and all that, like sweating it out. And obviously keeping yourself, you know, at an optimum level in terms of health. Your body is that powerful that it will clean it out, man. But, you know, people don't want to believe that.
No.
They don't want to believe that. So what can you do, man? And yeah, so that's a sad thing that's going on right now. That I think, you know, unfortunately for people, you're going to have to deal with, and it might get, you know, a bit crazier, man. It might get a bit crazier for people. But I think, for me, anyway, I think the idea is to really dig deep, do the stuff you didn't do before to try and find out what's going on. And once you do, you'll find out, like, there's a whole bunch of blah, blah you don't need to worry about. You don't need to, you know what I mean? You don't need to think about. But until then, you're always going to be umming and ahhing and wanting, you know, like, yeah, but just in case. No, but I heard. You're going to find out that all of this you heard, you blah, blah, like, no matter what level you think it's like, oh, right, these lot are telling the truth. It's just to keep, like, a bunch of myths alive. Do you know what I mean? And as long as them myths are alive, you're always going to be edgy about certain bits of news.
Yeah.
No one understands what I'm talking about.
That's the real MK Ultra, is that they basically they worked out that they can just scare the shit out of you into not talking about something or looking into it, you know. So there's certain myths out there that you're afraid to even now even if someone just mentions something against your little mythology you've got built up in your head, that you get a reaction of like, no, okay, I'm not going to, no, not having that, I'm not having that, no.
It's like malfunctioning.
And it's like, that's what the MK Ultra programming was. They worked out how they could put something in your head that makes you react to something unconsciously before you've even reacted to it consciously.
That's deep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess, and that's how it works with the movies and all that, isn't it?
Yeah. They're working on a different level, like a level underneath your conscious reaction.
Yeah, it's subconsciously. Definitely. Yeah. That's the idea with the predictive programming. You know, like what they put in movies or in music, you know, like when I remember when pantomime started, then there was, who was it? There was like some hip hop tune, these cats that had put a rap in about, you know, some kind of plague happening or whatever, and then people were going, look, see, they predicted it in this tune, and it's I can't remember who it was. They weren't even mad famous as well. It was like an underground group, but it still kind of hit a lot of people like, see? And there's so many different tactics that they use, man, you know, and that's why we enjoy doing shows like this where we can talk to people about, you know, and understand those type of tactics, like, you know, like the book, obviously from those same entities, but The Art of War helps you understand that. You're like, when it's saying for you to know the ground that you're on, know what ground your enemy's on, and you start to understand how they work. From then, you can dodge them little tactics.
Yeah.
You know, it's like playing chess. If you know certain moves, you can already see what this guy's trying to do. But until if you don't know the moves, bam, you're done. Your king's conquered, mate.
Should we?
His conquers have been ripped off of him.
Should we bring in?
Yeah, let's do that, man. Who we got?
We might have some interesting insight from our guest.
Brother. Yeah, definitely. Before we do that, let's just give a shout out to the Connoisseurs UK, being that it is 420. Quick Connoisseurs shout out. You know what I mean? Shout out to Connoisseurs, of course. Sam, big up to the family. Let me just show you what they got. They've got CBD Belgian chocolates. They've got CBD Belgian chocolates, indica as well as sativa. They have natural CBD balms infused with sativa. You got indica sprays, sativa sprays. You spray it under the tongue, or you can spray it on the skin, even topical. You know what I mean? Coconut oil paste, full spectrum, so you can get. Hey, uno can get this. Let me get Wheel up the blood clot, too. Yeah, man. So you can get that indica spray, or you can get the sativa spray, as well as a full spectrum spray. So this meaning that you'll get, you know, all parts of this wonderful plant that we talk about in terms of its CBD quality. You get all parts. The indica is known to be what kind of helps you relax a bit. You know what I mean? Mellows you down. And the sativa is known to be what can pick you up a bit. But if you've got both, you know what I mean? Either or. You can go either way, bruv. Also, they have premium chocolates as well as chocolate stirrers. And they got some, there's some sales on the gift packs as well, man. So you definitely hit up connoisseursuk.com. People should know by now the level of what CBD can do for you, you know, in terms of like whether you be needing to get more sleep, whether you've got aches and pains, inflammation. There's various things that it can help you with. I feel personally like it's a sort of adaptogen, so it kind of, whatever you need, it can help you with in terms of what is available to do. So, like I said before, if you are lacking sleep, if you feel like you can't get much sleep, it can help you get sleep. Then again, if you feel like you don't have that much energy, it can give you more energy. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of adapts to, and it's, you know, proven scientifically that we have receptors to the cannabinoids that are inside the CBD, and so that means, and this is from birth, like even breast milk has CBD in it. Do you know what I mean? So if people are ever wondering, like, yeah, but how would that work out? How can we, you know, why? And this is why it works so well for us, and this is why they try their best to demonize it. Do you know what I mean? Because there are definite benefits to it for each and everybody. And I don't believe smoking is the highest quality benefit. I think the best benefits are more eating it raw or using it like this, like with the CBD type of thing. But at the same time, if you can handle it, you handle it, man. Go to connoisseursuk.com and make sure when you get to the checkout, after you order or whatever, get into the checkout, type in SYMNNKNA. That's SYMNNKNA. That's the acronym for something you might not never know nothing about, and you'll get yourself 20% off any order from connoisseursuk.com. Thank you very much, mother lovers. Selassie. Hey, big up to Mr. Green. What's going on, Famalam? In the building. Yes, Turbo Tubalicious. What's going on? Happy 420 to you both. Yo, let's get the roll call going, man. You know what I mean? Whilst you do that, let's bring in one of my favorites, man. Jeez. My brother from another mother lover. He comes on, always drops some gems. Always got me, doing some research, like on something he's dropped where I'm like, oh my days, okay. So I love having a chat with this guy. Let's get him on, man. Mem DVG, do you know what I mean? AKA the third member of Wu-Tang. Of our you know what I mean? Yeah, man, always. What's going on, bruv? Can you hear
all
us?
good, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey.
Always a pleasure, man.
Happy 420, bruv.
Yeah, likewise. Happy 420, everyone, man.
If you enjoyed, you had our
I've got
version
my
of
little thing
Christmas
here.
dinner.
I thought it'd be rude not to if we're doing a 420
Oh shit!
show. So yeah, man, I've got a little something here, man.
You got your Christmas dinner right there.
That's it.
Got the joint.
Yeah, that's the joint, isn't it? Leg of lamb right there, boy. Leg of lamb's bread. Your leg of lamb's bread. Yeah, I'm vaping some Gorilla Glue as well.
Nice. I've got a Blue Walker, which is a cross between blue cheese and Skywalker apparently.
Nice. Ooh, Skywalker OG cross with cheese. That's all right. That's decent. Why? You're not playing around, man.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it actually. It's quite because I'm more of a sativa person usually. Because that's what gets me, like you said, researching. Because the sativa gets you high, and hence the sat is to do with the head, like the satellite high. Sativa, and it's to do with Saturn as well, which we're going to get into when we speak more about like the occult side of cannabis and whatever. And obviously indica is, like you said, more of a chillers, but the word car means earth as well. So makes sense. So indica gets you stoned.
Yeah.
And sativa gets you high, like a satellite.
See it there? There's a difference between being stoned and being high.
When I'm high, that's when I'm researching and reading books and watching videos. But like when you're stoned, for me, personally, I think when I'm stoned, I'm more of my ego and my lower self, because it gives me the munchies. I just want to eat and not do nothing. But whereas when I'm on sativa, it's the opposite. I want to like look into health things and start researching, and do you get what I'm saying? So it all depends on the individual and how you are as a person. This is another thing with smoking cannabis or using cannabis. People just think, oh yeah, I'll just get some weed. But it doesn't work like that. It all depends on your personality. So I'd say if you're a very laid back person and then you're smoking indica on top of it, it's going to make you super laid back. So the way you would counterbalance that would, for me, be if you're proper laid back and you need some motivation, have a sativa. Or if you're too hypo and you need to calm down, have an indica. So use it intelligently rather than
just get started.
We don't look at it in that way. Like we just think, oh, I'll just get something. Like sometimes, like when you speak to people, and you say, "Oh, what strain you smoking?" They go, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah, yeah.
To me, like that winds me up because you got to know what you're ingesting in your body, and you got to know the effects of it. This is why people start getting paranoid and they say, "Oh, I can't handle it," and it makes me think things. It's because you're not researching in what you're doing. You might be having the wrong one for you.
Exactly. That's what I say to people.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not just as easy as, "Oh, let me just smoke some weed."
Yeah.
You got to be a bit more, do some research in like what it is and what a sativa is and what an indica is and what a hybrid is and where they come from, like different parts of the world. And you know, there's like so much to it. It's like like you said, the cannabis plant is such a big subject in itself. Like there's so much to learn about it. It's not just about, and also as well, I think like, don't take me wrong, I smoke cannabis recreational as well, but really it's more of a kind of sacrament. You're not supposed to really do it all the time.
Yeah.
Because then you're just abusing it. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, we're supposed to do it in like
increments,
at the right time, for example, like basically being more responsible while we're using it.
Yeah.
So if I know, for example, I've got to go to work, I'm not going to go and smoke 2 zoots before I go to work of some heavy hitting indica, because obviously I'm not going to perform at work. You get what I'm saying? So if you do have that, go to work, come back home, and then have some, chill out and wind down. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, we need to use it properly as well. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like that with shows. Like you probably heard it earlier with the Trade Secrets, the tune I did with Hilltop Hoods, and I talk about I don't bun before a show because I don't want cotton mouth. But it's also it's not even just because of that. It's just because, it happened when I think the early years. I used to blaze before a show and all that. And then there was one time where my mouth was so dry, you know what I mean, that I felt like, I don't think I could carry on with the show type thing.
Yeah.
Luckily, I managed to just squeeze out, some juice from somewhere and sort myself out. But it was like so uncomfortable. And then another time I was drinking and blazing as well. And then I started rhyming. I was performing. I started rhyming, and then I came out of myself. Like I had this kind of out-of-body experience thing, and I had to try and handle it. I had to still spit, it's all like rhythmic. So I'm trying to keep myself together, but then feeling like I wasn't really there. And then so after all of that, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna blaze before a show. I'm definitely not gonna drink anyway, but I'm not gonna blaze. And when I do after, and then I noticed the shows were way better. I'm more on point. I'm much more clear with it. I'm hyperactive anyway, so that's why it was easy. The show's even more liver. I'm blazing because to keep me, like you're saying, you have to use it in a certain way.
When I've recorded,
leveled. So performing, it doesn't really work that way.
It's the same with when I record, bro. I don't think I've ever recorded. I don't think I've bunned and ever recorded. I'll do it just normal whenever I've like gone into the studio to record a tune.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but it's just like you say. There's certain ways of whether we've got to use it and not let it use us. Ultimately, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not just with with anything, with food, with drink, with whatever it is you do, like you just got to try and be disciplined. And,
you can't abuse anything.
Man. It's like man, it's weird. Like with me, I go like I'm so up and down with discipline and phases. Like I can be like, there's times where I get proper on it, and then I'm like, I get knocked off, and then I get on it, and it's like a constant battle. But ultimately, that's what life's about, isn't it? So
I think as well, like the way, you know, because historically, you know, it wasn't as looked at as such a taboo as well.
Yeah.
And that taboo almost makes it, you know, like it's like that inversion. It's like once they've prohibited it and made it like, oh, this is outlawed and no one should be touching this and this is for bad people and this, then there are going to be people like, oh, is it? Yeah, but it don't, you know, and then be like, no, I take it and I'm not bad. Do you know what I mean? And then more people are going to be drawn to it. And I feel like, in a sense, that the evolution of that has now made it become even more of a, you know, an odd sort of novelty. Obviously, you're into it because you really like it and whatnot, but then it's promoted left, right, and center in a weird way. You know, obviously not the same here as in places where it's legal or whatever, but it's like, it's pushed so much in that way that now it becomes something that's like, you know, people talk about, Only Blaze Cali, brother, Only Blaze Cali, and it's like, there's gotta be, you know, all of that kind of, it's just like, wow. So, you know, that's definitely not, you're not doing it because of a sort of, you want respect out of it in a way. You're not respecting
I hate
you know
stuff
I mean?
like that, bro. Like, that really winds me up, man.
Well, no, is it Cali, bruv? Is it Cali?
Yeah, like, I got it from a pack. I got it from a pack. Yeah, whatever, bruv. Like, doesn't matter. It's good. It's good, no matter what it is. Do you get what I'm saying? You can. It's not about the strain. It's about how good it's been grown, or you know, like the person doing it. If they've given it love, or it's a good version of that strain, then it's good, isn't it? So like, to me, it's not about, like, as long as it's a nice version of whatever it is, it's nice to me. You know, there's so many strains. I don't think there's a strain that I say I don't like, because they're all unique and they have their own niceness to it. Do you get what I mean? There's never one where I thought, this is nasty, or I might have thought, I really don't like the effect of this. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
what about flavour?
But in terms of flavour, no, there's not one I can say I don't like the flavour of.
Interesting.
Personally,
I think I'm trying to think of a strain where I'm like, I'm not really. There's certain Star Dogs that have done that to me, where I'm like,
oh my God, that's the only one Star Dog that, like, I don't know, man. It got me quite negative, man.
Yeah, it got you negative.
Yeah, like really, like negative. And then that's the only one. If I had to pick one, it would be that.
And the era when it was like, do you remember after the grit era? Do you remember the grit era?
What do you mean grit era?
Well, there was like there was a whole bunch of bud that just had grit on it, or like little particles or something.
Oh, right.
Sometimes it looked like it was sand, or, you know, like people were saying it was you know, them plants where they put it in, is it kind of fibercast or fiberglass or something? Like some kind of spongy that breaks down, like that. Then after it was like there was like a flood of sort of East Asian, like mainly Vietnamese growers, like all around the country, like mainly, I think in South mainly. And what they were doing were renting out houses and that, gutting out the middle, you know, like the first floor, like, you know, floorboards or whatever. So it was gutted out. So, you know, ground floor and first floor was just one thing, and then so they could just grow. But they were growing really bad, and it was always damp and all that. That bud was disgusting. That was like, it was bad, man. That was like morning mouth bud. Like, you just blaze it and you're just like, yo, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's been some bad times, man.
We've been through some rough times. I've come to found, like, bro, like, just, see, I'm not like, I haven't been a bunner that long. It's only been like 10 years, really.
Is it?
Like,
so back in the days when I came up to the lab and all that, you weren't blazing then?
No, I wasn't.
Wow. Oh, so that's why you were speaking about it like that. Because I remember when we were first talking and you said that, I think it was when you came to Fubar. And
Oh
you
yeah,
said that,
that's right.
Yeah, you started blazing, and then that just got you writing, got you.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
And that's what got me on this journey of researching and
as well.
you get what I'm saying?
That's
so
crazy. That's deep. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, bro?
Happy
Like
420,
before that,
boy.
don't take me wrong. I used to study, but it was more like history, like right here, right now kind of things. Like obviously having a Turkish background, like I'd study like the Ottoman Empire and like all the historical, that type of stuff.
And were you going like hidden knowledge with it, or just sort of were you just on the surface level?
No, I was just on the surface, that's what I'm saying. But then once I experimented using cannabis and started using it, that's where it took me to the different, the different dimension. And I was looking into astrology and like first I got into like the Graham Hancock and all that. Then through that, I got into Santos. And then once I got into that, then that's when the journey went like pretty hardcore, if that makes sense.
Well, I think once you kind of like people like Santos, because I remember even mentioning to Dan, and Dan was like, "Oh yeah, I remember him." And it's like after that, something clicks in it. You're like, because you watch enough, and you're like, "Oh my days!"
Bro, I was watching one of his videos once, and it's mad because I think I've mentioned this before, but I was watching Graham Hancock, and he mentioned precession of the equinox. And this was before I was into like knowing about the stars, and I thought, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But I've typed it in YouTube, and the first video that came up was a Santos video. So I thought, I'll just watch it. And then in that video, he went into it, and then he done the wheel, and he was talking about like how all the and bro, after that video, it's like I got slapped out of a dream. Something happened, bro. After I watched that video, it was almost like a revelation in a sense that, wow, like this is it. Like it makes so much sense what he's saying, that's what just led me into like. From like 2015 to 2019, Mice, literally, I was on one, bruv. When I say on one,
research.
Like, I quit my job and all of that, and I went into one kind of thing.
What,
and that's where I kind of got so into it, and yeah, it just picked it all up. But the thing is, man, you're never into it too much, man, because even to this day, I find things every day and I'm like, wow. Do you get what I mean? So it's like sometimes I watch my old videos and I think, oh my God, like what I knew then to what I knew now. That would be like with this, when I watch this in 5 years' time or whatever, I think, I didn't know nothing back then, because we're always evolving and growing. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, that's why as well, when we give knowledge, now I see it in a way, I try to do it in the most humblest way possible, in the sense that I'm not saying I know the full answer. This is just what I know so far. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that's going to change. Now I understand that it's going to change.
And this will change also.
What's that?
And this will change also. That's what you just got to keep remembering. And it's also that, like, you when you're first into it, when you sort of first go through an awakening, you sort of have to tell everyone about it all the time.
Exactly.
But then when it's finally like sitting in your head in the way that it, because first of all you go through a thing of like, you have to tell everyone because you're not even sure about it yourself. So you're sort of playing around with the ideas with everyone else. But then when you reach the point where you're like, no, I'm pretty sure I know this part now is the truth. You can stop telling people about it, because it's just in you. It's just part of you now. And if people want to know, they want to know. And you can't you can't like teach people something they don't want to know. Really,
Exactly.
no one wants to learn something they don't want to learn.
Yeah.
So when you're like, no, but you've got to listen to me. You've got to. People are like, I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, it pushes them away.
Yeah, they have to come to you. That's the only way, really. The ultimate way of, you know, a person who's reached that point where it's like,
I want to know.
You've got wisdom is when you understand that telling people isn't the way to teach people something. That's true wisdom is, you know, is like not having to go around and tell everyone everything all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Force it on people.
Not arguing.
They come to you instead. You know, like putting videos up is good because you put them up, and if people want to watch them, they can watch them. You know, you're not putting it in anyone's face and telling them they have to watch it.
And often it feels like if you come across, because you've even given us an example already, Mem, is like when you come across something, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, right, I feel like I was supposed to see that. Do you know what I mean? And then it gets you on that journey. And so, yeah, if anything, at least that can happen to somebody and they're like, yo, you know what? Right. They were, like, I remember, man, when I think it was like one of the last times I was on Facebook until the lockdown happened, you know, and it was someone had put up about all that terrain theory stuff. But I didn't know. I was like, what are they talking about, man? Like, you know. But then after, like, so, you know, it must have been months after that, I was like, rah, whoever that, I can't remember who it was, though. I can't remember who it was. But if I could, I'd find them and say, like, yo, thank you for that. Because I feel like that was a little sign that got me on this mad journey where I just had all this time, you know what I mean? And worrying, thinking, oh, my God, someone going to die, everyone's going to die type thing. And then going, yo, is that what they could do to me? Like, you know what I mean? I don't feel I could get jerked like that, but they managed to do that for literally my whole life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They jerked me for my whole life. I've had little signs, you know what I mean? Like, luckily, I've had little signs along the way that made me think, like, damn, they're right, you know. They're right. They've never proven it. There's no, like, how can you prove it? Do you know what I mean? But them things happen. So hopefully people can get that from us, man, for sure. And Mem, you're shining a lot of light for a lot of people, man. So we really appreciate you up in this mother lover. I'll tell you that right damn now.
I appreciate you guys as well, man, because it's good, like, that we have a kind of continual, like, relationship there. We're kind of constantly sharing and updating each other, man. So likewise, isn't it? Like, we all learn from each other, man.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What it's about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's it. As soon as they like stop talking to each other, stay away. Like, all right. You know what we got to do then? We got to start talking to each other and staying close. You know what I mean? Play them at their own game. Shout out to Mr. Green. He said he was thinking about the grit days. Yep, the grit days were dark, man. Those were some dark days with people. I know somebody who had some lung infection or whatever. Yeah, because they're just blazing it. Man, you're going to get a little D. Bruv, it's the grit thing, you know. You're like, bruv, really? You're just shotting it like and nothing. You know that there's some weird whatever. Like Tub said, man, Turbo Tubadicious said, whoever thought putting fiberglass in green was a good idea should be punished. That's right. Should be in front of
again, no.
Court.
The people who did that were obviously not people who liked weed, or when I say liked it, were lovers of the plant or enthusiasts of the plant, or do you get what I'm saying? Obviously,
had any appreciation for it.
That's just pure, like, business-minded, whatever the reason of them doing it was. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, so then it just goes to show, like, even
man said
people you deal with or you get it for, or whatever, just, that's what I'm saying. It's complex, man, in like, it's just like any subject or any field of knowledge. You got the people that actually do it for, like, or are into it for the right reasons, or kind of have a love for it, and then you got people who are just doing it for the money and don't give a shit. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's always, that's in every field of whatever, whether it's music
commerce,
or whatever it is. Do you get what I'm saying?
Anytime there's commerce involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when people get all mercurial on it. They get you got tricksters along the way, innit? There's that connection there with... You know. you can see there's that connection there with it. So there's, because the idea of it anyway is quite tricky. Is like, you know, I'll swap this for this, and like, is this worth this though? You know, is it worth me swapping for that or not? But then now we've got this cash system, and obviously, yeah, people want to make a lot of money. They want, and that's when it becomes haram. You know what I mean? That's when it becomes usury, innit? That's like, we ain't really meant to be doing that to each other. Because this is just to get by. This isn't to capitalize and, you know, become better than you in a monetary sense.
Yeah.
That's where it gets all mustered up, man. So yeah, we, you know, but I know that uncommon senses already know anyway, man. You got your go-to, you know what I mean? When you got your go-to people, that's it. You know, you're safe. You know, they respect it the same way you do. They could talk about it the same way you do. You know, you can explore different strains. You know, that's the beautiful thing about coming together with people that know their craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's also about It's like having a relationship with what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you get what I'm saying, rather than just doing it. Like it's like you're getting to know that, because obviously, I'm not trying to get all philosophical here, but it is like a relationship, because you've got to know what the habits of it are, so then how it's going to affect you. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, people just need to be a bit more
in tune.
Yeah, like, just get in touch with it, basically.
Yeah. I think tapping in for sure. You got to tap into it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah. Like,
just get in touch with things a bit more rather than just doing it. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say.
Like, if you know, basically you go to your dealer, you don't just like, yeah, bam, bam, and done. You go look at it, you go smell it, squeeze it a bit, smell it some more. You know what I mean? You
blow it a kiss.
Yeah, you
whisper something in its ear.
You want to
talk to it.
You just want to make sure it is. You know what I mean? And if it feels right, it feels right. And if not, you go to the next pot. You be like, all right, let me look at this. Let me smell this one. Squeeze on it. Squeeze the booty a little bit.
Squeeze the buds.
Yeah, squeeze the buds. You know what I mean? Just to see, is it right for you? As opposed to just like bam, 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 and done. And then when you get back, yeah, bro, mama gave me a grit thing, you know, from 2006.
No, don't just do that. Don't just do that grit. 2 minutes in and out. Quick thing, going in your dealer's house, coming in, popping out real quick. And then
yeah, man.
Back in the car,
take
back home
time,
again,
man.
play a computer game.
You gotta take time. Yeah, take your time, man. You know what I mean?
Ask him a few questions.
Get to know.
Ask how his day's been.
Get to know the bud a bit more, man. You know what I mean? Before you take him out on a date, you just out. Yeah, off. Yeah, peace, bruv. Pay your little 20s.
So Mr. Green saying, I don't understand the 420 thing. I'm licked every evening. Right. So
exactly. You know what? In all honesty, I totally agree with what that brother just said, because like, it really, if you smoke cannabis, it is 420 every day. So like, it's kind of pointless, but nevertheless, I guess it's just like a little, I don't know, like, it's just, yeah, to me, if I'm being in all honesty, 420 don't mean nothing to me, but it, like, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's just.
So, what are the origins of 420? Do we know?
Well,
from what I remember, is it something to do with some guy in a court case and something was announced at 420 or something like that?
Yeah, there seems to be a few different.
That's the one I know, but that's the only one I know, basically.
The official one is that some kids in the 70s, was it?
Yeah.
That were high school students, you know, or seniors, and they used to meet at 420 at and at the they used to meet at a statue of Louis Pasteur, weirdly.
Wow. That's funny.
And then they was friends with somebody who was in the Grateful Dead, and someone in the Grateful Dead noticed that they kept saying 420 to each other, and it spread apparently through the Grateful Dead into popular culture because they're sort of weed head band, you know, so it became this thing, 420, blaze it type thing, or, you know, that became like a sort of catchphrase for the Grateful Dead. But you've got to remember, the Grateful Dead are CIA operatives as well. So, you know, they were a sort of made-up band from the 1960s that the CIA sort of put together a stoner band to become like the sort of, you know, the Grateful Dead are like the face of sort of getting high in the 60s and 70s. You know, they became the sort of band that if you was a deadhead, it was sort of like a sign that you smoked weed and that you wore a Grateful Dead t-shirt, and then someone else in another town knew, oh yeah, he smokes weed, oh, he's into the Grateful Dead. You know, so they were sort of like an acceptable, I suppose, when they sort of like subverted the hippie thing and turned it into like a sort of a harmless phenomenon, you know, something that turned from something that was going to sort of change the establishment. They sort of turned it into like a harmless movement instead. You know, they killed the hippies essentially and made it into like a sort of harmless musical thing, whereas before it was like a sort of political, musical, artistic movement, and they sort of subverted it. So they put bands like the Grateful Dead in there as a sort of steam valve for people, I suppose, so they weren't getting into some of the more dangerous bands with more dangerous opinions and you know, more politically volatile or revolutionary people. So they sort of silenced all of those and they put bands like that into place. And then there's a good book called Weird Sounds in the... No, what is it called? Say something about Laurel Canyon. Anyways, in America there was an area called Laurel Canyon,
I know,
where they set up like the whole hippie popular music scene was set up from Laurel Canyon in LA. Yeah. So and that again ties in with the Grateful Dead thing and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
there seems to be a whole thing about Laurel Canyon where they're saying it's, you know, it's possible that a lot of these you know, bands that
counterculture bands, really. Counterculture.
But it was all
it's all CIA. Yeah. Jim Morrison's dad was the admiral in charge of the false flag operation that got America into the Vietnam War. There's other famous hippies that their parents were, you know, I think it's like David Crosby or someone from Crosby, Stills and Nash, whose dad was like a part of the, you know, the elites in America, and you know, you've got all these sort of connections to the elites and the CIA with all of these supposed counterculture figures from the 60s. So yeah, the Grateful Dead are a similar sort of thing. Grateful Dead were promoting things like transhumanism, AI. You know, a lot of their sort of lyrics and all that are sort of promoting these sorts of ideas.
So I guess
so 420 sort of ties in with them. Really, that's who popularized it. Apparently, that's who popularized it.
Yeah, that's who popularized it.
They popularized the phrase 420. Who knows how it was planted or why it was planted?
Yeah,
there's other theories out there that they've done it to cover up other things that happened on 420.
Yeah.
You know, so
or even to make people kind of, or more or less, because it's quite a celebration.
Yeah.
You know, so people are celebrating on these sort of dark days. You know? I think it was Columbine happened on 420.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then obviously... it's your man's birthday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hitler's birthday, and that's kind of weird. People celebrating. But anyway, what's the other thing I was going to say, though, is that they're saying there were, I think it was to do with these, you know, kids in school or something like that. They used to walk past each other. I think it's in California. Yeah, they used to walk past each other in school and just say 420. So meaning like they just knew, you know, they're saying it was almost like telepathic, where they just knew, all right, yeah, we're going to go blaze. And then they'd meet after school at 420 and then smoke some weed. And so and that was like in the 70s or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the same story, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They used to meet at the statue of Louis Pasteur in the... I don't know why. that to me are the statue of Louis
Oh,
Pasteur.
you know,
I think it all ties in.
Yeah, kind of, it makes you crazy.
Statue of what, Dan?
A statue of Louis Pasteur, the guy who invented the first vaccine.
Yeah, more or less the reason.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So now you know why his name is in the story. Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like, yo, that's some shit you might never have known nothing about. So, and it's funny because I'm nearly finishing that book, Pasteur, was it Béchamp versus Pasteur?
Yeah.
So I'm reading it in France, on the train and all that. And man, there's places where I see, posters, or you might see some kind of mural or whatever for Pasteur. And I was reading it on the train, and there was a man, next to me, French man. He's like, oh, when people are trying not to look like they're looking at your book, but it's obvious they are because they got a crook neck. So you couldn't even really style it out. So I just went, look. I was like, oh, look, this is what it is. Showed him the cover. I goes, oh, have you ever heard of this guy? He goes, no, I don't know Pasteur. I said, yo, do you know Pasteur? And he's like, oh, yes, I know him. Oh, luckily. Like that, he goes to me, luckily. I was like, man. I was like, yo, you should get this book. But then I thought it might even be banned, or it might have been banned.
It's an old book, ain't it? It's from like 1920s.
Yeah, it's an old book, but you should get it. Béchamp versus Pasteur. It's very, it's telling. Like it's all based on like factual history that you can go and check all the sources and whatnot, and it just goes to show how we can get into a place like this where they can just shut down the whole world off of just something they put on the TV and tell you, and everyone else tells you because they're seeing it on the same TV or same screens and same outlets and whatnot. But it's like from beyond that time, and then up until that era, which was like the 1850s or around that time, going into the late 1800s, you can see like, wow, all this managed to happen around then, and it's no wonder. Like, all it takes is just for somebody to have enough power and enough influence and be involved with government, industries and whatnot, and then, bam, they can just make sure that their story is what everyone talks. And anyone else talking anyone different is crazy, or they could get shunned out, or they won't get any more, you won't get any more work because I'll make sure of it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. And then that grows throughout the world. That grows throughout the whole world. And bam, everyone's working on the same system. And it's off of people like that. The people that they will blaze in for 420.
I've got a good one for April the 19th
crazy,
here. Because I thought it was something to do with April the 19th and April the 20th. I thought there was some events. I think it was like Waco was April the 19th. And
what was it? I think.
But I've just found this one. April the 19th is the first day of the 13-day satanic ritual day relating to fire, the fire god Baal, or Molech, Nimrod, the sun god, also known as Saturn. This day is a major human sacrifice day demanding blood and fire sacrifice with an emphasis on children. So that was the day that they...
What the... Yeah.
That is so interesting, Dan, because Saturn ties into cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know if you want me to go into
yes,
it.
Please. That's what I'm trying to trigger you.
That's what we're here for, boy.
Because basically, in astrology, in medical astrology, each plant is assigned to a particular planet. And cannabis and hemp is assigned to Saturn.
Oh my gosh.
And the reason for that is because obviously, like Saturn is about boundaries and like time, and he's the ruler of time.
Yeah, because time
so
goes
obviously,
mad slow.
when you smoke, it breaks that boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go kind of outside of you can see things outside of the boundary.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So then that's why it kind of relates to Saturn. So like, and
that's why we blow smoke rings.
yeah, and also I've got a book. It's called Liber 420, and it's literally it's like 800 pages long, and it's about how all the different like cultures and like religious groups or Masonic orders, and like how different cultures from all around the world use the plant.
Oh, serious?
yeah, I've got the PDF. I can send it to you.
Yeah, please do that, man.
And yeah, like in there it was explained. That's where I learned that cannabis was related to the planet Saturn, basically. Because then when you look at words like the chronic, it comes from Kronos, which is Saturn as well.
Planet, oh, bro, if I had a bomb right now.
So that's like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got that, because also in medical astrology, Saturn corresponds with chronic illnesses. But anyway, I'm kind of going off the topic. Well, it's not off the topic.
No.
Keep going.
But so ultimately, cannabis relates to the planet Saturn in like alchemy and herbology and medical astrology, in all that like field of knowledge as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of people I've spoke to say they also see like a connection with Neptune, because like Neptune's like at the third eye and all that type of stuff. But if I'm going to go like with what you can actually source and read about and like academic stuff, it's Saturn, basically. Because Saturn is a teacher as well. It's about wisdom.
Yeah.
And also, like, for example, in the astrological wheel, right, you've got three of the signs that correlate with Saturn specifically. And they are Libra, Capricorn, and Aquarius. And I have this again. This is my own
Capricorn and
Aquarius. And this is my own syncretism. I haven't read this in a book. This is just what I have syncretized myself.
Yeah.
So Capricorn is an earth sign. So which is ruled by Saturn. So I correlate that with indica. And then Aquarius, which is ruled by Saturn, which is an air sign, and is the motto of I know, is the sativa. And then Libra, which is the scales, where Saturn exalts in the chart, is the hybrid. Because Libras are both. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and those three signs specifically correlate with Saturn. So I've kind of just synced those three together myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So wait, that's deep, man. Yeah, there's a lot in there, isn't it?
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I've been doing a lot of kind of, so that's like the kind of astrological side of my knowledge of like cannabis. But I've also been doing a lot of reading into like, because I do a lot of research in like the occultism of Islam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've been doing some reading on how like a lot of old Sufi groups and Shia Muslim groups kind of used to use cannabis in their ceremonies because they say it helped them create a connection with God, basically. And there was a particular group called the Assassins, but they were also known as the Hashashins, as in like hashish, hashish. And they were like a particular order who kind of used to use cannabis in their rituals and stuff like that. And they say that they got their traditions from like the Zoroastrians and the Persians, basically. So like there's that. And also there, in the Quran, there is a particular surah, I think it's the cave, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken about the name of the actual surah, but Moses connects with a guy who's called the Green Man. He's called Al-Qadir or Al-Khazir. And then I was reading in a book that this Green Man in that story is actually a metaphor for cannabis, because this guy is like an intermediary between Moses and God in the Quran.
The burning
but
bush.
it's called the green one. And apparently the more esoteric circles of Islam believe that this is a metaphor for cannabis. And this is how Muhammad traveled the seven heavens and got the revelation from God, because he came in touch with that green man. And there's so much to it, but I'm just giving you guys.
He went and met his dealer.
Yeah, basically.
Pack. He got his pack.
Yeah, come back.
And then come back. He's like, yo, bruv, I know exactly what it is now. I know what exactly.
And like, by the way,
Ah.
all this stuff I'm saying is it's all in books, and like it's in 3 different books that I've got. One is Lead Before 20, which I just explained to Mice a minute ago. Another one is from a book called The Gods of Eden by William Bramley. And then the third one is from a university paper called Cannabis in Turkic and Islamic Cultures.
Wow.
So they're the 3 things I read to like get a lot of this information from.
And what's the story with the burning bush?
Yeah, exactly. Moses and the burning bush.
Yeah. I was just making sure.
He met God in a place called Pineal, which is obviously the pineal gland.
Wow.
And so on. So, yeah, it's all there, man. If you just study and you can read between the lines, it's all in there, man.
It's been around. It's been here for a minute. It's no wonder, innit? And like we're going back to the whole fact that we have receptors to this. You know, there's a reason why it affects us in the way it does, that it makes us feel better in some form of way. You know what I mean? So of course it's going to be in the scriptures. Of course, man. So right. We got our other guest coming through. Yes, I'm glad he's landed. You know what I mean? He went on a little trip, a little journey, 420 journey, flew around the world, came back. What's going on, man? Happy 420, mother lovers. Some shit you might not never know nothing about. I'm your host, Mice Diggy. I got my co-host, Dan DNA. We got our brother, DVG, Conscious Minds TV, and a special guest coming up right about now as well. This man, legend, you know what I mean? For him to give us his time, I got to say, that, you know, I appreciate it, man, because this guy is a hard-working mother lover and been doing it for years, has inspired many because he's carved his own path within this world, presenting, you know, this art form that we all love called hip-hop. 50 years old, by the way, this year. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the music, the culture, by the way, not the gentleman about to come in. You know what I mean? And
close, though.
We're close.
Close, man.
Yo, and you know, like for me, it's such an honor to be able to like be part of something that he presents every year. So I get to host this event. It's a free event. It's out in the park. Do you know what I mean? Sparfields Park. It's every 1st of May. And it's a celebration for the end of a perfect weekend of Breakin Convention, man. Ladies and gents, let's get some fire emojis, man. Some love, some flowers. You know what type of flowers we're talking about. For the one and only Jonzi D. Yes, man.
Yes, Maestro.
What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you for inviting me, man.
Thanks for coming through, bruv. It's appreciated, man. Highly, bruv. Trust.
Highly.
Hey, happy 420, man.
I usually cancel everything today for that very same reason, said reason that we're talking about. I just want to big up the brother right now, talking about the hash bolas.
Yes, that's DVG. DVG, this is Jonzi D. I'm not sure. You guys must have bumped into each other somewhere.
Nice to meet you, brother. Respect, brother.
Hey, brethren. Listen, love what you were talking about just now, because when I was in Holland and I'm talking like 1991, 92 sides, yeah?
Wow,
we bucked up on this group of mans that changed their name and messed with Hispalos, and they called their crew Hash Spollers.
Ah.
So and you know, them brothers was Muslim as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I related to that what you said.
Yeah,
Thank you, bro.
yeah. This is what we get into over here, man. We get deep, Jonzi. You know, like we talk the talk that people don't want to talk when they're out talking. You know what I mean? Because you got to do it somewhere. You got to do it somewhere.
I mean,
yes, man. Thanks for coming through, brother, man. So I want people to know who Jonzi D is, basically, because you know we call these guys the uncommon sensors. We were common sensors before, but we realized over the years, especially the last 3 years, that common sense is not that common. It's uncommon. So now we got to be the uncommon sensors. And I'm sure everyone knows who you are, but just in case people don't, please introduce yourself. You know, let people. This guy, anyway, man. Yeah, let people know what you do, and what you done, and how you do it, brother lover.
It's long. But yeah, man. I am the MC Jonzi D, and I used to rap a lot more back in the day, with man like MC Mello. You know what I mean? We toured. I just saw a message up about the Guru, man. It's 13 years since he passed on. I remember MC Mello. He brought me on to tour with basically Guru and Jeru the Damager. This was in 1995, and I guess nobody knew me that much as an MC, but I randomly ended up round at Sparky Ski's house. He's the producer of MC Mello, and yeah, we were recording some tracks. Mello heard me, and he was like, "All right, you got to come with me on this tour." So yeah, I guess that was the way it kind of started when it comes to profile. But originally, I'm from Bow, E3, East London, where a lot of the whole grime thing started coming from. You know what I mean? People like Wiley and stuff, they're like a generation below us from London. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I moved out, ended up moving to Islington, just so happens to be near Sadlers Wells Theatre. And I started doing, I guess, what you call hip-hop theatre because of my, I guess, opposite upbringing when it comes to culture. Because I ended up doing contemporary dance and classical ballet.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, dude. This was like late 80s, 89 to 92. I was training at London Contemporary Dance School.
How did you get into that?
So basically, we used to do contemporary dance in school, yeah? And, you know, man's loved dance because I was doing all these windmills and this, that, and the other, but I was doing it within the context of contemporary dance, you know? And at the time, there wasn't that much of that. But I threw myself into this thing, yeah? Simultaneously doing the rap thing at the same time. And the last thing that I wanted the MCs to know was that I was wearing, you know, like...
What was it? Because I was going to ask, when you're saying contemporary dance, at that time, you're saying in the late 80s, was that like Fame? Was contemporary dance like Fame? Fame!
Yeah.
I'm going to live forever.
I want to live forever. Yes, a little disco-y.
Wow. Leroy. Was it Leroy?
Yeah. It was Leroy, mate. Leroy.
You was Leroy from Fame.
And I was Leroy from Fame.
But you could rap.
Not trying to wear tights.
Yeah.
And leg warmers.
And one day I got the baptism of fire, brethren. Yeah. I ended up getting, so I was at Lewisham College. And I walked down the stairs, walking into class, ballet class, proper late, And the teacher, she was like, "Oh no, you can't join my class without tights." Yeah, and I was like, "All right, cool, I ain't got them, so I'll sit out." She was like, "Hey, Jonzi, you can wear these." And she come out with these like 5 denier tights, right? Like see-through and that. I didn't have a jock strap, which is like called a dance belt. And I had these baggy wide fronts, So I had to slide these 5 denier tights over my wide fronts and go up to the ballet bar to a chorus of
Someone needs to bring that look back.
And
Just looking all
Baggy
ruffled, boy.
at the undies,
You just looking all
the
crumpled.
the line wasn't
You can't-
clean. You get me?
And like a badly put on nappy, boy. Like Marjorie couldn't really put the nappy.
So that was my
420. Marjorie's trying to put the nappy on 420.
My brethren come check me out. My brethren from Bow, like they come through, and I didn't realize they were gonna come early. So I'm finishing class and I'm looking through the window and I see my man's there like, no, Jonzi, no. My eyes are burning. Ah!
Wow. Yeah, that was a message, boy. Jeez.
But you know what? That was then. Remember back then, like, we were a lot more strict about, you know, what you're meant to wear, this, that, and the other. Nowadays, I'm good.
It's true, you know. It's true.
You can wear anything. Yeah. You can have your balls hanging out and ting. It's all good.
Yeah, you'll be on the train. No one won't bat an eyelid, man. Do you want to sit here? They'll ask you if you like, right, but yeah, it's true, man. The way people dress up now is crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, so I started doing this hip hop theatre thing around 1995. I did a show called Lyrical Theatre, which I performed at the Oval House Theatre when it was alive in Brixton. And yeah, man, it all just set off from there, basically. I felt as though all of my polarized identities came together by doing hip-hop in the theatre, you know what I mean? Rap as text, as language, breaking as poetry, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I joined Sadlers Wells around 2003, and we did our first festival 2004, Breakin Convention.
Wow.
Bringing together hip-hop dance from France, from Montreal, from America, and working with UK artists as well. And one of the mantras that I use at Breakin Convention is the best hip-hop dance theatre from around the world and around the corner. So there was always a point to bring major artists. Like the first one, we had Electric Boogaloos, some of the first poppers like Poppin' Pete from the film dance, you know what I mean? Yeah. We also brought Tommy the Clown, who initiated the crump dance movement.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? So he was there. There was a guy called Rennie Harris, Pure Movement. He was one of the first man I saw doing hip hop dance in the theatre back in the day. And I was hosting it, man. You know what I mean? 20 years ago, boom.
That's crazy, man.
All of the broadsheets just loved the thing because they'd never seen like high quality hip hop dance in these spaces of so-called high art, like Sadlers Wells, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the broadsheets just loved the thing, you know? And yeah, we're celebrating our 20-year anniversary now.
Jeez, man. That's crazy. Happy birthday, boy. 20 years, bruv.
Yes, and 10 years ago, where we had our 10th year anniversary, was the first time that we did the Park Jam.
Wow, was that the first time?
10 years ago, bruv. It's just gone like that, isn't it?
Are you serious? It's been 10 years.
10 years, brother.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. That's crazy. I've been there every one, innit?
You've been there every one, brother.
Jeez. 10 years already, man. That's crazy. Okay. So it's going to be a big one this year. You mother lovers better get on down there. Sparfields, which is, what's the nearest station? Is it Angel?
I guess Angel.
Clerkenwell area. Farringdon's close as well.
But yeah, man.
Day, man.
We got a lovely lineup.
Yeah, who's on the bill? Is it still a secret? Yeah.
Come out, mate.
It's just come out. Boy.
We got Skinny Man.
Jeez. Yeah, that's gonna be big. Skinny Man, yeah. More or less in his hometown, you know what I mean? He's around the corner, man.
Exactly.
Jeez.
We've got Lady Likes.
Wow, Lady Likes. Okay.
Love her. Listen,
jeez.
When I first heard, I think it was her and Lady Leisure. I see them battering up one open mic somewhere. It was on the radio as well. Like it was one of them live things. And yeah, I thought that she smashed it. Obviously, Lady Leisure's just killed it now. But nobody had heard of or known what Lady Likes is up to. And then I just saw her do a little freestyle the other day, and I was like, nah, she's got to come through. So we managed to get her. So Lady Likes and Skinny Man a headline in this one. And as usual, we've got all the other festivities. We've got the live graffiti. We've got some music in the dance space where people, what is it? Not even the dance space, it's the
basketball court.
See it there? Yeah. We've got DJ Debo, a few other DJs. We've got Sarah Love.
Jeez. Wicked.
Love.
Heavy. That's heavy. Oh, boy. It's going to be a party, man.
Blitz, yourself, Maslow, host, end of the week, freestyle things.
Sheesh.
Yeah, man. It's going to be
band. Is there a band there as well?
There's a band. We've got Quake Bass, who's going to be running the drums. And he's got a bassist with him. There. Can't remember his name. But yeah, man, it's going to be a real nice one.
Yeah. As always, man. Always. Every year, man. Without failure, you know what I mean? There's good energy, good vibes. And the thing about it as well, it's a family thing. So, you know, you can bring the whole family there. It's not about, you know, just the man them or just, the elders. It's like everyone's there. Old, young, and everyone's celebrating, especially, you know, being that it's, 20 years of Breakin Convention, 10 years Breakin Convention Park Jam, 50 years of hip-hop. Come on. Yeah, I think it's time, my beloveds. Get yourself out there. If you ain't getting out, you're just sitting at home all the time on a computer. Come on, man. Get your ass out there. No matter where you're from either, man. I'm telling you, it's like our carnival. Do you know what I mean? Especially for UK hip-hop. It's like our carnival, man, because it doesn't happen every time that we get to do this throughout the year. So at least when there's once a year, well, you know, look at that. There's a website people can go to, which is breakinconvention.com. You can find out more information. Can you talk about the actual the proceedings, like what happens? Because I think you start on Friday, right?
That's right. So this Friday, the 28th, we're going to start with a small exclusive event in the small space at the Lillian Baylis, which is in Sadlers Wells in Angel. And this year it's going to be called Ladies First. Yeah? Ladies First. And we're not going to get too complicated over what a lady is for this particular event.
A womb man, right? A womb man. A man with womb. Womb man. Yeah. It's in the name.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Got a woman by the name of Dion Reed. She's going to be hosting. Wonderful singer, funny host. We've got Kat Francois doing some dope new piece that she's got that she performed at Word Becomes Flesh. You've never seen Kat Francois perform like you're going to see on Friday, because she does hula hoops and poetry at the same time. So
what?
Next level.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that's level. That's practice.
Do I remember Kat Francois from like poetry slam nights or something? Is that Kat Francois? Yeah.
Same said one. Yeah. And yeah, she's been on the circuit for many years, but she's also been very physical. You know what I mean? She does a lot of fitness, and during the last 3 years, she was doing a lot of that stuff on Zoom. But yeah, she's been killing it, and this is a chance for her to bring her two interests big time.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, so excited about that. We got a few other females killing it. We got Nikki Yo, who's going to be playing the piano. We got her name, Natalie James. She's going to be doing some hanging upside down on a rope, doing some beautiful stuff. Yeah. And we got some surprise guests for you down there. So yeah, man, that's going to be interesting. The tickets, basically the festival's sold out, but you can get tickets for the Friday night. It's crazy, dude. The festival is sold out at Sadlers Wells.
You always sell out, man.
2,800 or something ridiculous like that. People come through for the festival. But yeah, on the main stage on the Saturday, Sunday, 29th and 30th, we have got Lay Twins.
Oh, jeez, straight out of, they're from Paris, is it? Paris. All right, Lay Twins. If people don't know about Lay Twins, they're crazy. Two twins, obviously, that can dance but they come up with just crazy ass ideas and moves, and you know, you're just like, what? I didn't think your body could do that type thing. Amazing. And they've been doing it for a minute as well. I think you probably were the ones to introduce us to them over here.
Yeah, 5 years ago they did their first big show over here. I'm not sure if they've done any battles and stuff, but their first major show was definitely Breakin Convention 5 years ago. So they're always going to be dope. We've also got these amazing lockers, Ghetto Funk Collective from Holland, but they are killing the scene when it comes to locking. They're doing a celebration of James Brown music, and it's going to be a piece called On the One. So yeah, that's going to be super fresh. We've got from Korea a crew called Mover, featuring B-Boy Pocket and B-Boy Rocket, and then they just so happen to rhyme.
That works, isn't it?
Yeah. We got Chloe Dean. She's been doing a lot of stuff with Little Sims lately. So she's going to present some of her work with the dancers that she works with. She's been doing Breakin Convention for about 15 years as well. I've seen people grow through this. Just the other day, there was the Olivier Awards, right? That's, you know, for posh theatre.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, the leotards without the white pants in it.
Yeah, but now we can proudly say we didn't need leotards to win awards. Man like Ivan Blackstock, he won an award for his show called Fat Lords, which I was helping him on, which I'm happy to say. And also a woman by the name of Kat. What's her surname? She's got a proper name, but I know her as Kat Katniss. But she was up for best performer in this piece by Kwame called, what was the name of that piece? Spoken Movement, his company is. And they was up for an award. Man like Dixon B, he won an award for something. But yeah, and I was there in my flipping black and white, what do you call them? Tuxedo and that.
Oh,
and, you know,
you tuxed out.
And that, you know what I mean?
What?
Jonzi wears the Breakin Convention brand all the time. Yeah. But I went there dressed as a penguin.
You got to get a Breakin Convention tuxedo sorted next, man.
Yeah, brethren.
Yeah.
I like what you're talking. I wish you told me about 4 weeks before, because then I would have organised it.
Well, it sounds like you're probably going to have to get one anyway. There's going to be more of that happening, innit? You know what I mean? It don't sound like you're stopping anytime soon, so I'm sure more awards are coming, bruv. If you're breaking down walls like that, man, Jonzi, that's massive. You know, from where you've come from, and then growing it within, obviously, you know, the country, making it a worldwide thing. Like people don't, you're not even going into the fact that you tour it around the world as well. And then
our first international date, which was in 2013, was at Harlem Apollo. Yeah,
I remember that.
If there was any theatre that you would choose to be your first event outside the country, I would choose Harlem Apollo. The thing is, I didn't even choose them. They chose us. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They chose us. And they were very brave. I mean, to get an organisation from London to go to New York to show them what hip-hop theatre is like selling snow to an Inuit.
Yeah, that must have been... It must have been quite nerve-wracking in that sense, nah? Because I remember going to like New York especially a few times and then feeling like, man, you know, I don't know if they're going to even rate what I do, you know, because you're going to the Mecca with this shit. You're going back, innit, home with this shit type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must have been nerve-wracking.
But the thing is, we've always been international. We've always had legends doing Breakin Convention. You know what I mean? We've had Ken Swift, you know, original Rocksteady. We've had Mr. Wiggles, you know what I mean? Rocksteady as well. So, you know, we've had levels, you know what I mean? Electric Boogalies, as we said before. So getting to New York, you know, people had already heard of us anyway, you know what I mean? And again, we wanted to acknowledge the legends there as well. So, no, we did well, man. We did 3 years, like every 2 years in a row, 13, 15, and 17 at Harlem Apollo. So, smashed it. And actually, that was where we met the legendary twins. Yeah, they used to be called the N-word twins. Yeah, and they were well known for just killing up the thing at the original jams, and we're talking 73. In what's that? It's,
73, you know. Jeez.
What's the name of that bloody place? Come on, you old school hip hoppers out there, you should know.
What? Bush? Was it called the Cedric and C? No.
That's the one.
Oh, Cedric and...
That's the one.
Yeah, okay. Was it Cedric and Cedar or something? No, that's Cedric.
Cedric and
Ave.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, them mans, they were there at them original parties. So when they come to the Harlem Apollo and we connected, Kevin Smith and... okay, they're going to never forgive me when they see this video. But anyway, hopefully they won't. But they're going to be coming to Breakin Convention this year, and they said that they've got a present for me. And you'll find out what that present is when you come to Breakin Convention on December the 30th. We've got a whole bunch of artists performing. Go check out the website, breakinconvention.com, and do not go to Breakin with a G, yeah? It's spelt like this. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, it's Breakin Convention with no G, because I am the only G in Breakin Convention.
Jonzi D.
If you go to the other Breakin Convention with a G, you'll find that it's a psychedelics festival.
Wow. That's quite a twist.
Not really, in a way.
Ironically speaking, of course. Yo, yeah, man. That is quality, bruv, man. That's an amazing story, man. Like, you know, because I remember, what was it? We were coming back from some gig somewhere, innit? And you were driving. Was it Bournemouth? That was it, yeah. We were coming back from Bournemouth. And I think you had, what was that? Okay, yeah, I don't even, you know, do you go there still?
I was hosting an event in Bournemouth, and I do go there still. I regularly go there.
Yeah.
File Style.
That's it.
I believe you was rapping as part of that.
Performing. Yeah, I was performing. And we were on our way back, and you were talking about working on some new projects and whatnot. There was obviously the thing that happened where you turned down.
Thing there.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, 2012 or 20-something, I was awarded an MBE for services to dance. I've been doing Breakin Convention for about 10 years, something like that. And yeah, I got a letter coming through the door, basically with the crest, the royal crest on it. And I thought, oh no, they've got me. That's the first thing I thought, man. I thought, nah. I'm crumbled.
Yeah.
I opened the letter and they're saying, yeah, Jonzi, would you like to come to Buckingham Palace to receive an award, an MBE, and this, that, and the other? And, you know, obviously I was really chuffed. But if them man know me, they should know that Jonzi ain't going to be taking that doo-doo, yeah? Member of the British Empire, yeah? I've been spending most of my career running down that thing, you know what I mean? So, yeah, they offered me one, and they had multiple choice questions. Will you accept it? And if you accept it, will you do so publicly? So I ticked, no, I'm not going to accept it. And 2, no, I'm not going to do so publicly. Because for some reason I thought, yeah, if I turn this down, they're going to come for me, innit? You know what I mean? But they didn't. And I made a show called To Be or To MBE about my whole experience. And I haven't performed it for a while, but I think I should perform it at some point. I might perform it for our 21-year anniversary or something.
21? Why 21?
I don't know, because I didn't do it for the 20th, I guess.
I thought it was like, it would be of age by then. It would be for some reason.
Yeah, I guess the 10-year anniversary of that is coming up, so I might save it for then. How about it?
That's a good idea. But yo, I mean, you know what I mean? Got to give you claps for that, man. Many people would they'd accept that at a heartbeat and roll around with the crest and a whole bunch of other shit on their back. You know what I mean? So yeah, props to you for, you know what I mean, not taking that. I gotta say, man, I'm sure that Uncommon Senses already know, boy, because that's a whole. I'm sure Mem might be able to chime in on how deep that MBE stuff can go, because that's like, you know, it's like, whoa, who am? What? Wait, what did you say I got to do? I got to go where? And like, nah, I'm all right, bruv. I'm good doing what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
Is that like basically what Wiley got, or is that something different?
I believe Wiley received an MBE. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on
people saying
your outlook on life and what you know about history and what you don't know, for you to accept it or not to accept it. Obviously, yourself, brother, you're fully aware of history and what that empire did to your people. So you thought, no, I'm not going to do it because I'm not ignorant. Like you're not ignorant to what's happened. So to you, like, yeah, you could have took it and like thought, yeah, I've got an award, but at the same time, it goes against your core values. So you was just sticking to who you was. So I commend you for that 100%, and I would do the same.
Well, I just think that, yeah, if you know history, but also it depends on your own personal value system. Now, there's people that I know that have taken it, you know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, when I first did my show, I wanted to do a panel featuring myself, Omar, who received his happily, and what's the name? The performance poet. Name has escaped me for a minute, but also myself and Benjamin Zephaniah, who famously turned down his OBE, and he made a documentary called No BE about it. And I just wanted to just have a discussion about it, no judgment. Do you know what I mean? And Omar was well up for it. Do you know what I mean? He was like, "Yeah, cool. I'll defend my place on it." And talk about whether or not it does help to add to your career if you want to be, you know, personal about it. You know, some people feel as though that will help them get into spaces in which maybe they might not. Do you know what I mean? I remember Boy Blue, Kenrick Sandy from Boy Blue, he received one as well. And he said that the reason why he took it is that he wanted to raise the profile of his work. Now, for me, I don't feel the need to raise the profile of nothing. Do you know what I mean? Again, they come to me. You know what I mean? They come to me wanting to give me this award. So obviously I was doing something anyway, you know?
Exactly.
But I don't need it to for my career. You know what I mean? My career.
So your work speaks for itself at the end of the day. So there's no need for you to take it anyway.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, and it's almost like, like you said, they're ticking that box, like letting you know that you're doing something really good. But then it becomes a thing of like, I think someone's mentioned it. It's you acknowledging that they're, you know, their perceived authority in a sense, like you know, on. And I guess it kind of hits on a deeper level than just, you know, you publicly saying it. There's probably some underlying spiritual level that, you know, you get pulled into as well without realizing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what, for what reason do I need this? Why? What happens then? Do you know what I mean? There's got to be a reason. You can't just be like, hey, we approve of you. Here, take this. Let everybody know. There's something else going on with it. You know what I mean? That's, your spirit, you know, you've got a strong spirit already. So.
Well, there's a few people that have received this, you know, Jimmy Savile, you know, he's received one, you know? And there's probably a few people that have got dodgy little histories that have accepted their thing, you know what I mean? But, you know, I ain't going to judge no one and their decisions to do it. But for me, it doesn't sit well, you know what I mean? And I like to be able to sleep at night, you get me?
Exactly
yeah,
that.
I always see that sort of stuff as like you're somehow making, all they are is really that you've proved that you can help make money for that corporation that is the empire. You know, it's not actually like a sort of well done, you're a great person. It's like a sort of you've performed a service that has somehow kept them in a position to make them look like, well, we accept all sorts of things. We've got Jonzi D over here. We've got, Lenny Henry over here. We've got, so that makes them look good. That's all they're doing it for. They're not doing it because of something you've done. They're doing it to make themselves look like they've made you. They're doing it to make it look like they made you do it. In a way. Yeah.
I make you right there because, ultimately it looks like, oh, we are so important that we're going to allow you into our space, and you can get down on your knee and we'll apply something on your chest.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of status around the ceremony, do you know what I mean? And I just don't even want to be part of that,
Don't get me wrong. If they said you get a sword at the end of this and a horse, I'll probably do it. You know me, Dennis Baratheon. If they offered me the sword and the horse, they offered me the sword and the horse, I'd do it. But it ain't what they say it is. They're like, oh, you're like somehow associated with this big old-fashioned medieval order of people. Different.
You might be.
Well, you might be, but you don't get the horse and the sword. And the chainmail armor and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could ride around like that just because you've got an award. You could ride around
on a horse. We see Jonzi D just rolling by on a horse. Right,
horse with a sword.
Boy, you know what? I ended up accepting it in the end, bro. I was like, fucking man. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I see you at the gig. Horse farts.
There's too many to warfare. You know what I mean? And Man is about peace and love. I've been about peace and love. You know what I mean? And a lot of these things, they've blatantly got roots in warfare. You know what I mean? If you've killed enough people for the country, we'll give you one of these awards. Yeah. And I'm not trying to kill nobody. I'm trying to present and give life. As a matter of fact, I did a the Times interview. Jeez. They gave me a whole flipping page in that thing. And there was a photograph in there by a man like Paul Hampart Sumian, you know what I mean? Paul H.
Paul H. Yes, big up Paul H, man. We'll be chatting to him soon as well, boy.
But, we are, it's like this thing about institution, yeah? I think I got the award because I'm part of an institution at Sadlers Wells, Right. And I think they like all of them boxes being ticked, but it's just something that man can't do. And for me to not do it, I think I'm sharing a voice of many people out there that would turn down these things. So it's not like I'm on my own. You're not taking it. I'm saying that I'm part of a particular community that wouldn't take them things anyway.
Yeah. I think you're
here. I can't imagine my Stiggy taking one of them awards.
Oh, come on, bruv. I don't need that award, man.
Not even with a horse?
Yeah, I mean, the horse, like... You know what I mean? Nah, I don't know.
It adds appeal, doesn't it? The horse does add some appeal to it.
Shout out to Regontology. He said it would be ULEZ compliant as well. So that's you know what I mean? That's a good point there. It'd be ULEZ compliant for one. But would it be cheaper than petrol? I guess hay. Hay's probably cheaper than petrol.
No. Didn't they murder a horse at the Grand National recently?
Did they?
I think 3 of them. I think 3 died in the end. Yeah.
What did they do? They quacked them.
I heard that they quacks animals, right?
Yeah, they quacks animals. They've been quacks animals for days. But that's how people's animals get sick. Yeah, man. Shit. Bro, look, I don't know if you had a look at that thing, but it's all in reverse, man. Everything's like inverted.
Yes.
And put out there in a way that it emotionally attaches people, so then they're drawn to it. Like, no, you should do that because and it's like they haven't looked at anything. They haven't even checked behind the curtain just to make sure. They haven't questioned anything, and that's how they get trapped, man. And that's more or less how it all works.
Killer.
Yeah, bam. As soon as you say that, like, stay 6'6" apart from each other.
Deep. Stay 6 foot deep.
Don't talk to each other. But you could, don't touch. Wear gloves. Use this, that, but you can use the cash point though, don't worry. And everyone at the supermarket that you keep seeing every damn week is fired for some reason, but be worried, just be scared. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? And tell everyone else to be scared. Matter of fact, do that so they can be reminded to be. You know what I mean? It's that simple, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what the funniest one is, Mice?
Mm-hmm.
When you're at the airport and you've got, like when you got to like hand your luggage in, you had to stand 2 meters away from each other, but then you're going to be on a plane all next to each other.
Bruv. I was thinking about
That's
that
the
today,
best one.
Yeah, it's so stupid, man. It's so stupid. But man, people just got caught up in it, and the easiest way is to keep you in fear, keep you scared. The unknown, like people say, they fear the unknown, and once they start talking about stuff that you feel is the unknown, then that's it. You just listen. Now they've said they said they said, but do you know? How do you know it's even true? Like, have you checked? No.
Oh, they got the fact checkers out, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I got caught up in that. I remember. No, let me check the fact checkers just to make sure. Oh no, they've said that. And bam, you start hearing like, yeah, but who's funding the fact checkers? You're like, oh, what? Oh my days! This gets deeper and deeper. You know what I mean?
My mum always told me, don't let anybody coerce you to take drugs, young man.
All of a sudden, the game done change. Yeah. For some reason, for some strange ass reason, that's your mum was talking. Nah, sorry, mate. Take this. Make sure. Actually, it's for free. Don't worry. Hurry up.
Yeah, but they
give McDonald's if you get one.
Yeah. And they also stopped you seeing your mums. That's the other thing they tried to do, is stop you seeing your mum, because your mum would have just said, what are you doing? So they just didn't want you to see it.
Blatantly.
If the only time he's only allowed to go around there if he's going to open all her windows.
Yeah.
That's the only
in the winter.
Yeah.
In the winter, that's the safest thing to do. It's like, come on, man. Yeah. But unless you've got those day live glasses on, you're lost, man. And the best thing we can do is just try and help people in a honorable way. Yeah. I don't think we should be angry. At first, once you start learning about all this stuff, you do get a bit angry, and it's almost like, but then you realize like everyone's got their own path, and it's got to start from within. You learn. I think for me, definitely, is just grounded. A lot more grounding happened during this whole thing, and it makes the world sort of an easier place to be in a weird way, even with all the chaos and all that. Because you're understanding like what is true, what isn't. Right? Fact checkers, man. That was madness, bro. Fact checkers, Jeez. They're like, who? I don't know. We don't know anyone. You don't know anyone. All these famous people, all these names, all these so you don't know any of them. All you know is the persona that they put out there. That's it. And so you shouldn't just take that for, face value anyway. Let alone whatever information comes in from all these different places. Do you know what I mean? But you should at least be able to speak openly and freely without feeling, feeling like you can be convicted in any way. Do you know what I mean? Like the freedom of speech should be allowed. Obviously, no harm being done to anyone. You're not stealing from anyone. You're not causing any harm to, anything, then it should be allowed, man. And people should be able to communicate. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. That's the main thing, boy. Don't ever try and stop us from talking to each other, man.
Yeah.
Serious. It's the total opposite thing happening right here.
Do you remember how mad people were going for this thing, eh?
Bruv. It was, and you think about it, if you really think about it, yeah, so people are worried that they won't be able to go toilet and clean their bum, right? Think about how that's quite, innit? That's deep. That's like, yo, serious. And then bam, everything else started going as well. Everything else. It was that easy. All over taking a shit.
Yeah.
At the wrong time in the wrong place. It's that easy, man. They took, They
Yo,
make fools out of us, man. All that.
Yeah. We got paid hard.
Yeah. Man was queuing up. Bruv, I had 2 masks queuing up outside freaking Tesco's. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Sainsbury's. But I was outside Tesco's queuing up for like half an hour, 6'6" apart from each other. And then when you get in, you got to walk like this. So everyone, there's arrows on the floor. Excuse me, can't walk that way. Like, what?
Well, I think for me, I remember being in Tesco's like quite early when they said it. And this guy stood close to me. And I turned around to him and I said, hey! And it was at that point that I realised, they got us.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's it. That's where you're like, yeah. I remember one guy walking past. And he didn't cover his mouth. I was like, bro, cover your mouth, man. Yeah, man, like an idiot. Like a dickhead. Like a dickhead. And that's all it takes is just admit it to yourself and then plow through. You get on through. You're like, oh, but anyway, actually, there's not. I don't have to worry like that. Like it's all. And now you're just laughing at it. You know, you laugh at it like, wow. Like, you mentioned that before. You saying like once you kind of, it's almost like you open that lock. You find that combination. You open the lock. You're like, oh, why?
Oh,
okay. This is right. This is actually cool, man. Man, I ain't gonna worry about none of that. Jeez.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. It's like it's theater now.
Yeah,
it's
even
theater.
like with me and that whole thing. Like, obviously, personally, I thought it was a load of doo-doo from the start.
Yeah.
So, like, at first, like, that whole thing got me a bit like on a not angry one, but it was just it annoyed me. But then once I kind of like saw that, you know what, like you don't have to follow the rules, or once you know what the rules actually are and you can like work your way through it, I started getting more and more calm about it, because then, like, for example, like, at first, like, when I used to go on the train and I weren't wearing a mask, people used to, like, give me dirty looks. I got into so many confrontations with people, and I'm the least confrontational person ever.
Yeah,
but,
East London, though, boy. You're going to get that East London.
But, like, I got into so many confrontations. But then as it went along, I just learned to kind of ignore it all, and I kind of found my peace through it, and I just thought, you know what, let them do them, I'm going to do me. I'm not going to sit here arguing with people, wasting my time. We all see the world differently. They can see it like that. It's their choice. Like, I just kind of had to check myself and be more humble and neutral about it, and realize that, like we were speaking about earlier, people are not going to see the world like you, and you're not going to see it like them. So you just got to kind of, sometimes we have to learn to live with each other, regardless of what our views are. Do you get what I mean? Yeah,
well, I think like you already get that with background and cultures and whatnot, but then like sort of learning the whole, the zodiac system, like how there's something there, there's some form of nature there that is attached to people, and then you understand that. So that means that everyone is different. They do have their own paths. They have their own way of understanding. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It makes you unlock it, and you're like, all right, calm then. Okay, my man is gonna act that way because he's more of a Martian. You know what I mean? He's got more Aries or more Scorpio, or you know what I mean? Like, or this one's gonna be more bold because they're Leo, or you know what I mean? There's gonna be that thing, and they might react to this thing in this way. So yeah, you have to. There's that harmony, and I think that's kind of maybe part of the answer to living, to life, is obviously finding that harmony, but trying to unlock those keys, those various different keys, whether it be to be with health, looking after the body, looking after the mind, looking after the soul, the spirit, and whatnot, or whether it be, a whole lot of different other subjects. But
do you know the way I see it now, Mice? It's just like, at the end of the day, we can plant seeds for people, but whether they want to water it, it's up to them. Like, we can't force them, and vice versa. People might give us seeds as well, which we could decide whether we want to water them or not. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think, like, as long as we do it in a nice and respectful way,
honourable.
That's all that matters. Because ultimately, like, sometimes, a lot of the time, when like when you get into like a dispute with a family member, or for example, when you're like arguing or whatever, ultimately, although you might be arguing with each other and you might say nasty words, I think deep down within both the people, the intention's probably good, because they just probably want what's best for you, and you're just trying to tell them what you think is best for them. Do you get what I'm saying?
And you're both upset at the fact
that it comes out as an argument.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, at the end of the day, sometimes the passion's good because it just shows that we care. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just hard to deal with.
Yeah, but it's just finding that balance. That time, do you get what I mean? And trying to say things in like the nicest way. Like, I'll give you an example. I don't want to hog the mic too much. Like, I used to like tell my mum and dad like things back in the day when I started getting into knowledge and whatever, and they used to kind of look at me a bit strange and whatever. So then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to really tell them about all this stuff, because I can see they're not really, getting it, or they think it's a bit different and whatever. But then now it's like my dad starts asking me questions about it, because he sees that like I talk to other people and do shows about it. So he knows now, he's kind of almost got some validation that, oh, it's not me going crazy, and there are these topics that are being spoken about and people do speak about them. So like, he asks me questions now, like about the law and how the law works, and and we've had these little discussions recently, and I think, wow, this is strange, man. Like, I would never talk to my dad would never ask me these questions. But it just goes to show that sometimes, like,
it comes to you, like,
what
Jonzi was saying,
just like the brother was saying as well. Like, sometimes things come to you, so like, maybe we just have to be patient, and it will finally get through. Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, patience is definitely key for sure. We're not allowed that. Do you know what I mean?
They let us know how many patients there were. So
for real, boy. They didn't stop with that, innit? First it was deaths. Then it was like, okay, well, cases. Like, yo.
But then they stopped everything immediately at the same time. Yeah. And when that happened, I thought, nah, we are being played, bro. Yeah. And then it, as we know, like, the numbers in the corner of the screen were consistent until the next moral panic, which was the war in Ukraine. You know what I mean? And then that replaced everything. And for me, I think we cannot forget. We should never forget this time period.
Yeah,
where there were big plastic dividers, and you could only hug your granny if you put your hand through this plastic divider. You know what I I mean?
Yeah,
and for me,
weird,
I think we cannot ever forget what we went through 3.5 years ago.
People wearing the visor things.
It's deep, man. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, even I still feel traumatized through, like, thinking about, like, it's like I'm just only recently started to kind of feel some normality again after that period. Do you get what I'm saying? Not that because I bought into it and believed it. It's just because
you're seeing
it messed up a lot of people's paths and a lot of people's direction and mental health. And do you get what I'm saying? It was a tough period, not just for me, for all of us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, it's just, yeah, man, it was a tough time, man. But it was just, I guess, like, sometimes these things have got to happen to see. It's like a test of character almost.
Big time. Like, personally, I feel like I had a massive growth through it, and I actually kind of it's almost like you know what I mean? Like I felt like I started to use, you know, what I have, like the talent I have, in more of a way that's helpful for me, my family, like everyone around me that is able to hear it, you know what I mean, able to listen to it or whatnot. So I managed to pull together different things, having that time, you know what I mean, off from being able to gig and whatnot. That was the worst thing they could have done, to be honest, because now I'm way more grounded and knowledgeable than I was before, and I knew my spirit was always veering towards that, but I didn't understand that I could gain that knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Like, so for example, it's like that thing where people say, like, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, but I'm not qualified." Yeah, but I'm not qualified anyway. But it's like they forget that there's a starting point before you can become qualified. And if you're saying that the only way I would listen to somebody is if they have that qualification. If somebody studied, whether it be 6 years, 7, 8 years or whatever, if they've done all of that, but then on the last day before they were meant to do their exam, they quit, are you saying that they haven't got the knowledge? Are you saying that they didn't learn anything throughout those years? Do you know what I mean? They haven't got the qualification, but they must have the same amount of knowledge. So therefore, it's the same language that you speak. There are dictionaries there as well that can help you, so you can learn as well. Like, you got time to do it. Don't just sit there and, oh yeah, but this one said it, and you're relying on people that you don't know. You just know their names, you know their faces. You don't actually know them. You don't know if they're telling you the truth. Do you know what I mean? You don't know if it's true or not, but you're just taking it for. And then this one saying that one saying this. Like, yo, come on, man. Like, you must know now. Like, it's up to you. You've got to search for that knowledge. And then once you find it, you're like, yo, all right. Like, you learn how to discern how, like, you know, you can tell when people are giving you these sort of, you know, they're just grifting. They're just chatting whole bunch of shit that you don't really understand, but it sounds like knowledgeable. Break it down. Like, what are they really saying? Like, rewind it. Like, all right, let me search for that. Let me check that out. And then bam, you start finding it. Do the stuff that you didn't do. And then bam, it starts working for you. Like, that's all I can say. Shout out to Vinny B in the building. We got a few more people linked in. King Chico, Martha Sovereign. But yeah, it really is. It's like I want to say it's that simple. It obviously isn't, because there's a lot of time that you got to put into it. But once you do, it becomes that simple.
It goes back to what we were saying earlier, Mice, about with getting in touch with things rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, get in touch with what you're doing, like, and the habits, and knowing the habits of particular things, and understanding a particular thing that you're engaging with, and then that way you can dance with it better. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas it's like people go into things with, like, blindly, and that's when you have bad experience of something, and then you think, oh, that's a load of bullshit. But no, maybe your approach, the way you approached it, made you have a bad experience. So just trying to find that middle ground. You get what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's hard right now because we're in that information age where there's so much information coming at you. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite daunting for a lot of people. I guess also scary. But once you learn who you are, you know who you are from within. Nothing is. He's not scared anymore.
You know, there was something that President Trump said that really stayed with me.
Yeah.
We are in post-truth now.
Big up Trump. Big up President Trump. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is post-truth, and I just thought,
yeah,
wow,
that's good. You're right. It's a really good point.
No truth now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if there is no truth, then that's surely Babylon we are in, where everybody's just babbling on and babbling on until we reach. I mean, where nobody is. There's no one way of thinking. You know what I mean? No. And actually, I think that's where the freedom lies.
Yeah,
you know
for real. It is.
You're right. The post-truth thing is really important for people to remember that's what the establishment is promoting, is this idea that there is no one truth. There's only, your truth and your truth and your truth and your truth and that's what the fact checkers are there for. They're there to just point out to you if you've lost your way with the truth because you're so lost in all of the different truths that are out there. Oh no, here's the factual truth. You know, is the one that's the thing they want you to believe or whatever. But
yeah,
there is truths out there.
There is the truth. There's always the truth. Like reality. There's always reality. Like it's true that there's a tree growing out there, and you know what I mean. But then when it starts becoming man-made, that's when it can be a statue of the truth. It can be like a.
It's lyrics, so I just got to share it with you. I don't know if it's relevant.
Drop it.
The truth is so fluid. Everyone is spitting, but proof is elusive, so everyone is splitting.
Jonzi D with the bars, yeah. That's exactly it. Exactly it, man. People are lost because of that. You know, so they don't know, and they get splitting this way, that way. They don't know where, you know, where to turn, where to go. And I guess that makes it even harder. But it's sad that when it's people that are your family, people that love you, and you still don't want to hear it. You know, that's the sad part. And I think like society has done that to a lot of us, you know, just through the schooling system, through the way our lifestyle have become, you know what I mean? Where it's so easy to not trust, you know what I mean? The ones that love you, the ones you know are looking out for you. Shout out to Oshioka Milo in the building. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's dangerous, man. Dangerous business. But yeah, all in all, I think definitely there's a lot of knowledge out there. If people want to get in touch just to find out like how much bullshit it is going on with all of that Rona stuff, just let us know, man. We got a Telegram. There's also, you know, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the likes and all that as well.
Join Odyssey if you're not already on Odyssey. Join that and subscribe to us there. Odyssey is going to be the place where you can get actual free speech still.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's the only place left because it's open source, so nobody's got the files. You know, everyone shares the files everywhere, sort of thing.
Is that how it's
like a sort of torrent type site for video content,
right?
And so you're less likely to get stuff pulled down off of there. You know,
because as people can tell, we gotta, you know, be careful how we.
Got to be careful what you say on YouTube. Yeah.
What is it? Odyssey.
Odyssey is called. Yeah, Odyssey. So it's like YouTube, but it's a sort of total, you know, free speech platform where there's, and it's not like free speech as in loads of people saying stupid stuff. It's just that.
The thing
their policy is that there's not really any way they can control what you put up there. So because it's all open source, they're all of the videos are stored on different places. It's not one big place where they're stored. It's sort of like a crypto. It's sort of like a crypto video site, I suppose. Right. It's all anonymous. All of the information once it goes into the digital place, it's all anonymized.
Okay.
So it's not like the same as all the other video storage places.
So they can't.
What does open source mean? Because a lot of this terminology, I need to catch up.
It means that all their code, right? So originally the internet was all open source. So when the internet first started, as in the public internet, everything you could click it and find out the code that it was written with, and the object of the original internet. You know, the people who originally sort of formed the idea of the internet was that you can go on there, information's available to you for free, technology's available, you know, different applications are available for free. Just get the code, you can play around with the code, you can make your own pieces of software out of it. You know, books are available, you don't have to pay for it, it's just PDFs, you can download them, read what you want. You know, it's all open source.
So
everything's
meaning
open.
The source of it was open for anybody to grab, and they can kind of adjust it and make their own thing.
And then round about Napster, you probably remember Napster being a thing. Napster, their policy was like open source. Everything should be open source. You shouldn't have to pay for music. It should be open source.
Right.
And then all the big musicians and labels like Metallica and who else was it got behind it? There's some other big. I think there's like.
Did People get behind it.
No, it's like a big, maybe, but it was like a big rap. I can't remember if it was like, I don't want to slur somebody, a big American rapper who wanted to protect his catalog.
Yeah, wasn't it Swizz Beats?
I can't remember. I don't want to.
I feel like it was Swizz Beats that.
I don't want to slander anyone. But and then they sort of locked it down, and it became
Swizz Beats blocked me on Twitter,
music became it's Swizz Beats then. Yeah, and then music became. Personally, I think that people should pay for music. I don't think it should be free, but there's nothing wrong with putting your music out for free. If you don't mind people getting it for free, then put it out for free. But if you like music, you should pay a little bit for it. Because people have worked hard to make music, so it shouldn't just be free. The same with films; they shouldn't just be free. You shouldn't be paying for Hollywood films. You should be downloading Hollywood films for free. But if you know somebody who makes independent films, you should support them instead. Hollywood's got enough money; they don't need any more money.
Well, at this point, please, everybody, go and check out my films. I've directed a couple of films. One's called Autocorrect, and the other one's called Our Bodies Back. And Autocorrect was written by Saul Williams, a spoken word artist. Our Bodies Back was written by Jessica Care Moore. And there's a few dancers on it. But just to say that I just want people to just watch that. I don't care if people have to pay to download. Actually, I'd rather people can download it for free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just jack anything that I've done. Do you know what I mean? Download it. No,
you're open source.
I'm open source. Yeah. As I said, you just got to catch up.
I was going to say, to us, most of us, open source is what you used to get in the calf. Just like a
open source, mate. It's barbecue,
sticky bit of sauce around the top of the open sauce.
Bloody hell, it's open source, mate. It's all over me.
You got any of that open sauce? I don't want to close. This one ain't coming out.
All over me overalls, mate.
So there's good and bad things to open source. Obviously, like now, what the internet's become is closed source. You have to pay for everything. You got to subscribe to Spotify. You got to pay to get rid of the adverts on YouTube. You got everything's about making you pay for something, whereas the original intention of the internet was to have somewhere that was open source. But they've locked it down. What they've got now is what they called back in sort of early 2000s. They was calling it Internet 2.0. There's going to be a new version of the internet where you pay for everything, and that's what we've got now. It's basically corporations have locked down the internet. That's what's happened.
But is there still open source? Like, are there still
archive.org is a good example of open source. You can go to archive.org and download loads of stuff. You can go and watch films, listen to music, all sorts of things.
On archive.org.
Yeah.
And archive.org, is that like, that's like they basically, like in the name, like the name says, they archive whatever's been posted on the internet. But is that even things that have been behind a paywall? Or is that just...
Yeah, I don't know if they pull stuff. You can upload stuff to archive.org.
Okay.
So you could put your own music up there and just leave it up there, and people can access it for free to listen to it whenever they want. Or Jonzi could put his films up there, and people have got somewhere they can always access the films, even if YouTube goes down or this other thing goes down. Then put it on archive.org.
Open your source, mate. Yeah, that's what we all got to do. Open your sauces up. Spicy sauce. Thai sauce, you know what I mean? Don't mind a bit of Thai sauce every now and then. Yeah, man, this has been good, man. Appreciate you mother lovers coming through, celebrating 420. Shit you might not never know nothing about. As always, man, bringing it to you. What's that? Why did Swizz Beats block me? Because I said something on Fubar. No, actually, I didn't say anything on Fubar. What it was there was a discussion going on Twitter about producers, and I think I might have been drunk somewhere, and I started talking about, Swizz Beats. I didn't really
producers you didn't like.
Yeah. So and it was with a few names as well. It was like Manny Norte, Shorty Blitz, and DJs and all that. So I think. he must have caught onto it. And then when we were on Fubar, Sarah had interviewed him, and you know, it was like a pre-record or whatever, so I wasn't there. And then I think like because they tweeted, Fubar must have tweeted like, yeah, we got an interview coming up with Sarah Basti, you know, added all of us Swizz Beats. And then I thought, oh, let me check, you know, to see if he's following me. I checked and saw it was blocked, boy. I was like, right, he's blocked me. And I was like, why would he block me? And then I thought back, you know, when you have the little Rain Man moment, I'm trying to like calculate like when was it, and then bam, I just zoomed back to that drunk moment. I think I was out in the club as well. I was out somewhere. Yeah, and I was
Well, did someone snitch on you, Mice?
Nah, I think that he must have, because they're known DJs, isn't it? Like that I'm communicating with on Twitter, and then he, you know, all them famous people there, they search their name. Twitter. Yeah, they search their name, innit?
Oh, right. Yeah. I thought like you told someone in person and they told him.
Nah. I said it on Twitter. So,
cool.
Yeah, it was a drunk tweet. Must have been, a couple drunk tweets later.
You know, I think back in the day, like I think I probably got cancelled or blocked by some people. But I'd be interested, you know, who's been blocked by famous people? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to check out and just see if I've been blocked by any famous people, because I tend to be quite nice online, you know, say nice things to people. Well, unless we're talking about the quacks, of course. But yeah, man, I wonder if I've been blocked by any famous people. I'm going to go check.
Yeah, see, you know how it goes, man. I saw that, I was like, right, I'm never checking again whether anyone's following me.
But I'm not being funny, though. Like, someone like Swizz Beats should have the knowledge that he knows that some people won't like his music. Like, why would you take it personally? That's what I don't get. Like, I'm sure like there's people that don't like your music.
Yeah.
That you might like, but whatever. If they don't like it, they don't like it. You get what I mean? Like, I think that's a bit childish, like, from my perspective.
Yeah, you know.
But, you know, everyone's different again. But I'm just saying, like, someone to the degree of Swizz Beats, I wouldn't think he would even bother about stuff like that, basically.
Maybe it wasn't even, you know, it might have been his assistant or something.
Management or whatever. Yeah, fair enough.
Block it. You know, we don't need him to see any of that stuff. You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so whatever, man. But, you know, that's how life goes, man. I'm sure I'll get by somehow.
You, Mice.
Yeah.
So I'm Mice. I love you.
See, that's all I need, man.
King Chico in the chat says Piers Morgan blocked him.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's big, man. Piers Morgan. Jeez. Yeah, that's a big move, boy. Who else has been blocked? Anyone else been blocked? You know, whoever's been blocked, they've been talking some shit online. It's only right. You know what I mean? Get the word out. If you need to get the word out somehow, some way, just say it, man.
You know what?
It's honourable.
I haven't been. Some guy blocked me because I was friends with someone else.
Wow. You serious? Yeah. That's when it gets a bit petty, man. When you bump into man like, right, bruv, how comes you ain't followed me yet? Like, man ain't followed me on the Insta yet.
That's the only time someone's blocked me, because I was kind of connected to someone else.
Well, how did you know? They told you?
Yeah.
So you was like, it wasn't like they blocked you because they didn't want to speak to you anymore.
It's because I was connected. Because I shared a video of someone that they don't like. So then they blocked me from following.
That's school.
Right. Yeah, that's proper.
And then the next time you saw them, you said hello, and they're like, "You're blocked. Don't talk to me. You're blocked." Right. We're in public.
That's the only thing I can remember, really.
Yeah,
it's petty, isn't it? Like,
well petty. Yeah. Like I say, if you saw them in person, they're going to talk to you, and they're not going to just say to you, "I'm not talking to you. You're blocked."
You know, I have had some funny, weird vibes from certain people, like when I see them in the flesh. Do you know what I mean? Who I know they probably might disagree with my opinions or whatever. But I swear to God, man, people take their online shit and bring it out into the open world.
Yeah. They do, man. There's people, as much as they want to act like it's not the real world, they definitely take it to heart. So it's like something you got to... Oh, is he muted?
No,
I thought he was muted there. Sorry, man. I was looking at the wrong screen. It's 4:20, man. Is it still 4:20? Yeah. It's 4:20, man. Allow me, bro. Allow me. I mean,
I am proper. I just want to say, like, I wasn't part of the 420-ness of the conversation earlier on, but I was listening to it. Just want to ask, what's people smoking today?
That's what we ask. We say we want the roll call. We were trying to find out the roll call earlier. I believe there was some there's some names floating about, but yeah, we got some purple sherbet over here.
Okay.
And some jealousy.
Jealousy, not heard of that. What's going on with that one?
It's what's it meant to be? I think it's like gelato crossed with sunset sherbet, I think. Something like that. Yeah, and then some wedding crashers as well.
Okay.
Getting blazed, man. I got this Gorilla Glue vape.
Woo!
I'm baked, man. I ain't gonna lie. I feel baked.
Afghani over here.
Slowing down.
My shit's coming at all different angles, man.
Afghani.
Woo! But I don't know if it's land race, but boy, I feel indicated right now.
Makes sense. It's Afghani.
Well, you some blue.
Nobody commented on the glasses, but yeah, there's reason.
You're wearing glasses,
man. I like the glasses. Dad's like, you wearing glasses. That's hilarious, man.
Yeah, I got the Blue Walker.
That's it, the Blue Walker.
Blue Walker.
Yeah.
Right, there were some names come up earlier.
King Chico is lemons.
He's on the lemons, yeah.
Mr. Green, Star Wolf.
Mr. Green's the Star Dog King, man. Like, I swear, he's got to live up to the name, man. What's going on, Mr. Green? He's Star Dog each and every week, yeah.
Tempest Elixir, Monster Cookies.
Ooh.
Humourous, Sorbet.
Sorbet, okay. Okay, Humourous. Wow. You lot going in, man.
Do you know what I've noticed, though, like, on a personal level, Mice, like, I've, like, had, like, there's a million different strains, but I find that I actually like the, like, classic strains.
Yes.
Like Himalayan Gold and, like, just Amnesia and Cheese and, like, I like the simple one. They're the things that I like. I like the Cali stuff. I like everything, really. But personally, I like just the more... You know, like back in the day, for example, you could only get like a selected few, like Lemon, Amnesia, Silver Haze, Cheese, or whatever. Like, because that's what I kind of first started smoking with. I guess I have some kind of emotional connection, or I like those type of those simple ones. But
let me ask you. But the thing is, I think though that certain strains are basically they've been crossed, not crossed, but they've been the same strain for that many years. All of the new crosses I tend to find not that sturdy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the old strains, you know what I mean? You know, people have crossed them over and over again, and they kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
they're stable. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We know what you're talking about. They're stable because it's basically like when you, for people who don't know, from how I understand it, is when you create a new strain, obviously you've got two different strains, you've created a new one now, you have to like stabilize that strain, so you've got to grow it like another 3 times or something like that, I believe, before you can say like now it's stabilized. And what Jonzi's saying is it seems like people might not be doing that. And so they make a new strain and then straight away they just start getting rid of you know, that flower and whatnot, and it's like, hold on, this ain't really hitting the way that this does, which has been stabilized from way back. You know what I mean? And so it makes sense. It makes sense, man.
Yeah.
I think it's that thing of like, I'm interested in the different flavors as well. So I guess that's what. But I understand, like, definitely there is a difference when you go back to the more original strains. Like, you
but I like looking at the lineages and stuff like that, like where this one comes from, or like when you like someone. Like if there's a strain I've never heard of, the first thing I do is go to Leafly and see its indica dominant, sativa dominant. What are the parents of it? Like I'm into all that. Like
same.
Not like deeply, but I look into it just to see just to know what it is.
So check it. Last year I was in Georgia, like near Russia, near the Caucasus Mountains. So any place that's mountainous is gonna have some natural landrace wagwan, whatever. But anyway, this particular strain called Amirani, it's a cross with Gorilla Glue and one of their the strains from there.
Wow.
Yeah,
this is some of the sweetest, most beautiful, potent, like kind of indica cross. But yeah, Amirani's.
Wow.
But yeah, Caucasian weed, man.
Wow,
some good.
That's Caucasian weed. That's some deep shit, boy. Yeah. Wow. So even out there, like, they got their own little.
It's
strains.
weird. Like I've like tried so many different strains, but there's like only like a particular, like maybe 2 or 3 that the taste has been so like unique, or the effect it gives me that like I really remember. And one of them was Utopia Haze from Barney's in Amsterdam. And then also from Barney's in Amsterdam was something called Peppermint Kush. And literally the taste of it, it was like smoking polos.
Oh, for real?
How minty it was. Like, they're the 2 things that I've had that have really like stood out for me personally. But there's loads of other things as well.
Peppermint Kush, and what was the other one?
Utopia Haze. It's a South American. It's from Brazil originally.
Utopian Haze. Jeez, that sounds decent as
well,
bro.
I'm gonna write that one down.
It's a proper bouncy one. You know, like when you're walking and like you've got that bounce in your step. So that's what that is. It's like a very uplifting. It's a sativa basically. So it's a very outgoing type of one. Like, whereas the Peppermint Kush obviously was more of an indica one, but that was more for the taste. Like, it literally was like refreshing. It was like mints, but the Utopia Haze was more for the effect that I
yeah. Thanks. And I find with sativas as well, I find that they are more about the flavor as well. Like, obviously you do get a high from it, but more of a head high. And but often like the sativas are the ones that are really pungent in sort of flavor. Whereas like the indicas are more like a depth in their flavor and may not be as pungent, but then hit you in a way where you just have to lean back, boy. Like, put that down for a sec, boy. Put that down for a minute, boy, and come back to it. I'll sort myself out. Let me sort my life out for the next 5 minutes. Yeah, man. Yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like some of my favorite strains though. I think there's one called Cherry Pie, which I remember really enjoying.
I've had that.
And that's done right. When it's done right, it's really. I've had one actually that tastes kind of fishy in some weird way. It tasted a bit fishy, but yeah, when it's done right, Cherry Pie is banging. Also, Cherry Cough. There's a Cherry Cough as well that actually does make you, when it hits you in your chest, that kind of cushy, but then there's like an undertone of like sweetness to it.
Yeah. I've had Strawberry Cough.
Yeah, Strawberry Cough as well. Oh, am I talking about Strawberry Cough? No, yeah. It's Strawberry Cough, actually. Strawberry Cough. There's a Cherry Pie and then, Strawberry Cough. That's it. That's very, do you get what I mean? Where it's like very, like, you feel it in your chest, like, ooh.
Yeah.
But it's like one of them flavors that if you walk past someone, you're like, yo, what is that? What are you smoking there? You have to ask them, yeah. Yeah, very pungent, boy. Very, very pungent.
Hyde Park was like that today, I have to say.
Oh, did you go, yeah?
I did. I was at Hyde Park and it was a lovely... The weather wasn't brilliant, but there was a little period of time, like around 2, 3 o'clock, was real nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the smells, just walking through, like the amount of different flavors that's out there right now.
Yeah.
You know, to be fair, I would go as far as to say we are hitting some heydays when it comes to the amount of different strains and the amount of flavors that's happening right now. And I have to agree that some of the old school ones, like they will never, like they're so stable that they're always going to be there, you know. But I am excited about what's happening right now in relation to cannabis.
You're right. It's the Cambrian explosion for cannabis.
I think so.
All different. There's just all different, like just variants being thrown out. Some of them will survive.
The edibles.
Some of them will just die off.
Yeah.
And in the end, you'll be left with like the best of the best.
Yeah. I think like the edibles they're going to other levels now as well. There's so many different ways of taking it, you know, orally, and then you know, the medicinal effects, like in terms of health as well. That's a whole nother, you know, chapter to that book. That's going to be, and it's still being explored as well. But obviously, people know about CBDs and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. It's everywhere. People are doing everything they can with it now, isn't it? It's not, you know, it's different to 20 years ago.
Do you know what's ironic, Mice? Do you know that channel on YouTube? Oh my God, what's his? I'm having a brain fart now. What's the guy's channel?
Or is he a weed guy?
Social experimentalist. Do you know that guy?
Oh yeah, I've heard about him. Yeah.
The one who goes around with a megaphone and he like challenges people about particular. Yeah. Anyway, did you guys know that although cannabis is supposedly illegal here, do you know that the UK government is the biggest suppliers of medical marijuana?
Yeah.
And, it's funny. This guy phones up like one of the government offices like to take the piss, and he's like, he was just saying to them like, oh, it's ironic that like it's legal here, but like how comes it's okay for like you lot to kind of sell it and make loads? Like he was being really sarcastic in the call. But I'll have to send it to you. It's so funny, and he's like, can I talk to the woman who's in charge? And like the woman, other woman's like, oh, she's not here. I'll have to leave a message and all this. But the guy was taking the piss anyway, like who was calling them. But yeah, it's just ironic that, you know, like how, like for example, something can be looked demonized or looked down upon, but yet behind the scenes it's being exploited for their own, like for people's advantage to make money.
Is it GW Pharmaceuticals?
I think that's the name.
I'm not sure.
That sounds like it, because I've heard that name quite a few times. GW Pharmaceuticals. We had Sam on a while back talking about this whole thing to do with like members of the government owning, you know, the company, and I think that was the name. I do remember that name coming up.
GW Pharmacy. I think somewhere near Norwich. It used to be an old tomato, like I think British Sugar or one of them companies. They owned it, and they were growing enough tomatoes, and we know that tomatoes need pretty much the same type of nutrients and stuff as herb. So they took over all of these not warehouses, greenhouses, and actually we're going there as part of the tour Breakin Convention. It's Norwich. I'm definitely gonna have a little drive to
go do some investigate.
Yeah, you can see it online. But Norwich, British Sugar, they used to have these massive greenhouses that are now being used by GW Pharmaceuticals, can't get the words out, to basically grow pounds upon pounds upon pounds of high-grade medicinal marijuana.
Yeah, and export it to different countries. Like the largest exporter is the UK. That's nuts.
Nuts.
Nuts, man.
Yeah, here there's flipping cancer sufferers, MS sufferers that can't even get hold of it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, man. It's
Yeah.
liberties, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a piss take, man. And it's pretty amazing that they can do that because that's what they do to poorer countries. They do things like that. Like, you know, remember that whole scam to do with the AIDS? I think it was what's it called? Not NZT. That's a
retroviral.
Some kind of, there was some kind of drug that they were charging out the arse in South Africa for AIDS.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? And so you think like, oh, that's what they do over there, but then bam, that's more or less the same thing here. Like, right, they're outlawing the shit, but then they're making all of this money out of it. It's like, what? That's twisted, man. Inverted, as we say, man. It's always inverted. There's always an inversion.
Same old story, whatever kind of thing they're involved, it's just they're allowed to do it and we're not, basically. It's like one of those kind of things.
Rules for me. No, what was it? Rules for thee and not for me.
Yeah, exactly. But
do as you say, not as I do, type shit.
Yeah.
Yo, I got
totally wrong. Yeah, man. All good, brother.
We all have.
We appreciate you, man.
420 is over. 420 is 23:59. 420 is over in 20 seconds.
Big up DJ Pro Tracks. Big up all the crew that were locked in, man. We appreciate each and every one of you mother lovers that were locked in, man. And do remember, if you can, make it down, man. 1st of May, we're going to be down there, Sparfields.
And if you find me, ask me for one of these.
What are they? They look lovely.
They are lovely. Just trust me on that. 420.
Oh, okay. 420 continues. Yeah. I'm after
421.
Sure. Hold me one of them. Yeah, man. We're going to be down there, man. It's going to be a lot of fun as well, as you can see.
May the 1st, man. Don't miss it. Come check me. As always, I'm not working on that day. That's my day off, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Yeah, come look for me.
Yeah, man. Breakin Convention, mother lovers. Jonzi D, love, man. Bless
Peace
for that.
love,
Thank you for coming through,
Peace,
brother.
brother.
Thank you.
All good, man.
Good to have you on, man.
Yeah, that was jokes, boy. Yeah, man. Bless, man. Yes, man. Thank you for coming through as well, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
Enjoyed that, bro.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun,
Appreciate
man.
it as always.
Yep, as always, man. Make sure you hit him up if you want to get some readings. You're still doing readings or what?
Do you know what? I have to kind of I am, but like I need to sort out update my Zoom.
Okay.
I need to
I
need to get the paid version basically.
Yeah.
Because I've only got 40 minutes. Because basically, because I went last year when I went to Cyprus and then I came back, it changed, and then like, and I weren't doing readings for ages.
Yeah.
And then like a few people have asked me recently, and then I've realised, oh shit, I have to update. So I've just got to sort that out, and then I'll be back on it. But yeah, man. People can message me even if it's not about a reading as well, man.
Yeah,
just hit me up, man.
Definitely, and check out his YouTube channel, Conscious Minds TV, mother lovers. Get your knowledge. Make sure you get your knowledge. You know what I mean? Thanks for coming through, brother, as always. It's Mem DVG.
Thank you, Mem.
No problem, man. Thank you as well, guys.
You know how we do it, man. Appreciate all you mother lovers that were locked in. Big up to Liz Williams, Turbo Tubalicious. You know what I mean? Mr. Green, Your More. Big up to King Chico, Martha Sovereign. I feel like I should say Matha Sovereign.
Mather, yeah.
Yeah, Mather Sovereign. Yeah, Mather Sovereign. Big up, man. Happy 420, all you mother lovers. Tempest Elixir. Yeah, boy. What's that? W12 MC. Yes. Yeah, people knew about the fiberglass. I'm glad to see that. Big up Sinead. Shout to Chase 404. Big up all the crew locked in, man.
And Turbo Tubalicious saying, don't forget to like and comment.
Oh, yeah, don't forget to do the comment thing. That thing's helping as well, man, by the way. Big up to IBMCs. Yeah, man, like, comment.
Subscribe to everything. Go on your mum's computer and subscribe to everything on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Get your nan's phone, subscribe to everything on that.
Big up Ginger Joe. Yes, I remember doing your little Ginger Joe Puff Daddy challenge. Yes, I remember doing that, man. That was jokes. That was jokes, man. I think that was over Instagram, innit? Robbie Love, shout to DJ Pro Tracks. Wow, people went in tonight, boy. That's what we like to see. Black Einstein, yep. Yeah, we got a whole lot more coming for you, man. Big up to Vinny B. I'm going to catch up with you soon, bruv. Big up to Oshi. Yeah, boy. That was fun tonight, man. That was a good one, D. Shout out to my brother Dan DNA, as always. Dan Dolph holding down the boards. Big up to Amandi Juma. Shout out. Yes, always, man. Man in the boards, you know, making sure that everything works in synchronicity, like we always talk about. Yeah. Thank you very much. All of you lot, you know, we'll be back next week with some more, man. Happy 420. I hope you lot got blazed with us, boy. Definitely, I got the cotton mouth now. You know what I mean? Munchies like a mother lover. Yeah. I should have shown. I'll post on my Insta. Like, I'll show you the type of munch when I get the munchies. 420. Yeah. Anyway, man. That's what we got to do. It's time to get out of here. My name is My Stiggy. That's Dan DNA.
That's Mem.
That's Mem DVG. That was Jonzi D. And this is some shit you might not never know nothing about, mother lovers. But guess what? We're out.